What's poppin', kid? Oh my bad. Did I hear? Go for it.
What up? Hey, what's going on, man? And I felt as if, this is a night for the habitual line stepper. So I decided to do an after show uh uh post a breakdown a woman's perspective. Hosted by Concrete Rose and our habitual line stepper sister, Sister George. So the topic for tonight, the topic over there was sex tourism, lies, and dick policing. And it was featuring my habitual line stepper brother Donnie. And there was a lot said, but hey, I can say most of all that it was a great interview. And we're continuing the convo tonight. Now, I usually don't go on Wednesdays, but like I said, just doing an after show. Let's see how this works out, and I might come to you more than one or two Wednesdays. So, what's going on, Donnie?
Tricking all over the world. You know who we are. No, we're in the yeah. What's going on?
Yeah, what's up, man?
You know,
So,
I'm just trying to spin it, trying to let these hoes pay attention to me.
yeah, so well, tell me, what are your takeaways from the interview conducted by Sister George and Concrete Rose? They seem to hit you with some pretty good questions, and glad to see you held your own because there are two pretty strong forces here in this space, whether people want
Well,
to admit it or not.
no, I don't think there was much to hold on my own. I think it was just an honest conversation we have with friends and XYZ. The comments, yeah, that was another thing. But um, you had the big truck driver who came on. And he was a little upset, and you had certain people in the comments who were upset. But it's the truth. I probably had more experiences than majority of the people in the comments. I know I've had more experience than big truck driver just based on what he said. So people don't want to acknowledge what it is when you go traveling, when you see sights and you go abroad, and what the reality of situations are. People want to focus on the I have a passport, therefore I have the golden ticket to Willy Wonka and the Coochie Factory. They don't want to really live in the truth.
Yeah, man, and like I said, we you had talked about this earlier. There are going to be some straw man arguments. Of course, you can expect that from the chat when people don't agree. But I kind of peeped that as well. Trying to see how well traveled you guys were, and basically tried to stick to Castro. And I mean, he's been out the country, and his experience counts. But I don't think he anticipated you coming behind him and saying, "Hey, you know what? I've been here, I've been there." And I think it kind of took them by surprise because when you have the discussions like this, they kind of want to play gotcha, because it's kind of touching on something very personal to them. Because one thing that I think was mentioned was that tricking is not seen as something that's real cool, and it seems as it's taboo, especially for us Gen Xers growing up. Don't let nobody find out you tricking because it's like you're supposed to carry yourself on the weight of your Mac Daddy skills, like how well you are able to game these women up. And when you're not doing that, it's seen not only as cheating, like not cheating in the sense of it's like cheating in a game, trying to break the rules of macking. But it's not only seen as that, but you kind of are seen as an outcast, an awkward, a lame. Since you ain't using your mouthpiece and your talk game to get said draws. But the problem that you were expressing was, hey, you know what? We're not condemning tricking, and you have to say that several times to people. We are not condemning tricking, but don't portray it as something else.
Yeah, that's 90% of the problem. When you got a conversation of say he paid for the pussy, people get on the defense. The reason they get on the defense is because it's what they're doing. They know it's wrong and they know it feels weird. And they led with their wallet. Because often you have these dudes who led with their wallet and post the results of said leading with their wallet, and then act like it was just off the strength of them being them. It's not. So now you have a whole trick dichotomy that is going on in the sphere in the conversation, where it's disingenuous. Like again, last conversation, the trucker or whatever. Oh, these women. I've been places. I guarantee you, I've been more places than him. I guarantee you, I've done it more often. I've been more places than him. You can't tell me anything about traveling because I've done it. My motto about traveling is go hang out with the derelict because you'll see everything from the craziest part of the city and have a full understanding of what goes on in that community. I've immersed myself in several countries because it's fun. It just is what it is. You get the better discounts, you get the better rates, you get to know people, you see everything, right? Um, they came at Castro because he's only been to one place and he sounded hopeful, and he spent a little money, so people wanted him like he was me. In my mind, if you come at me, I'm gonna have a response ready for you, so people will sway away from that. And if you don't, well, let's have a combo.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, if like me, I'm just gonna say it like this. I don't like taking subtle shots. I like to come at you direct. I mean, if I'm taking subtle shots, they're not so subtle, or they're my version of subtle. It's when and we already knew going into this was going to be kind of a sensitive conversation. Because a lot of people don't like to be called out on certain things, and I get it. I get it. Nobody wants the embarrassment of having to admit that they paid for something like pussy when you've been told all of your life that it's cool to have game and to have swagger and to look like. And a lot of us, we're awkward over here, but then we want to sound like that you can go somewhere else and be a king. If you're awkward over, and this is one of the points Castro made, and this is one of the points that I've talked to you about quite often. If you're going to be awkward in bumfuck Alabama, you're going to be awkward in Thailand. You're going to be awkward in other places. I mean, unless you can pull off the lie of the century. I mean, or you can make yourself look like something else. Then that I mean, and all of it is all good. I'm not saying don't use those cards, don't play those cards, but don't lie to people. At least tell them, if you're going to tell them the ups, tell them the downs as well. And that's what we're kind of lost on when we have these conversations about, hey, yeah, go to another country. The women are far more feminine. I mean, great, awesome. And we know that American BWs have their issues. But hey, you know what? if you are an awkward person over here in the States, you're going to be an awkward person everywhere else. Am I lying?
You know what? I had a conversation with the wife and son. I didn't catch that. What was that?
No, no, no. I was just saying, like, if you're going, no, the basic point I was making is if you're going to be awkward over here in the States, you're going to be awkward somewhere else. That was
Yeah,
what.
yeah. People awkward here are awkward everywhere else. They feel like it's a saving grace because those women don't speak the language. So they feel like they can go a little bit further because those women don't speak the language. So they're like, oh, she's Thai. She, blah, blah, blah. She loves you better. No, nigga, she just said okay to a lot of the shit you said and bobbed her head, but she didn't know what she said.
Mm, yeah, and I mean, like, and let me ask you a question: are the women as fast over there as they are over here? Do
Faster.
they're faster? Oh, meaning that these brothers have some belief that they can pull the okie doke and actually get away with looking like a shine, and it's really the same thing over there. Once they start to translate what you're saying, and once it's translatable to them, then you're gonna look like the same nigga.
Okay. So when I think of fast, I think of like, oh, that little girl is fast. You know what I mean? Like she's up for sex, XYZ. No, they're not as fast because there's the language barrier. However, in terms of like sexually active, yeah, they're as fast. So that's what it is. So uh ultimately those women are looking for a come up. So they're gonna accept more and do more in order to try and get a position to win the race. Um, and that's what a lot of Americans dudes do when they get over there, leave with their wallet. So in that aspect, yeah. In terms of fast, everything is a hustle. Like fast in the colloquial sense, like New York nigga versus South nigga. Yeah, everything's a hustle. So they're always moving at a high speed pace. However, they're trying to present it as if they're not. So you'll get lulled into a false sense of safety. The truth is far from it. You got to look at it like this. If you go to Thailand, you land in Bangkok. Bangkok is a country controlled by the triads and the Russian mafia. Does that sound slow to you?
Not at all. As a matter of fact, it sounds like it's a bit much from a person like myself. But I did drop the link. I see Edward Anderson is down there. I mean, if he's still down there, he can go ahead and come up. But that's for pretty much anybody that wants to come up and share their speak their piece. But well, there he is. Well, I told you what was happening with me. I got to go, take care of this, stomach real quick. So, but anyway, what up, Edward? So, hey, Donnie.
What's up? Hold on 1 second. It's some. Yeah, 1 second.
All right, Donnie. So, Donnie, if you could just hold it down for me for a moment while I go get me some grub, because she. But let me give some shout outs in the chat though. Let me give some shout outs in the chat. We got Art Newstall TV. What's going on, man? Yeah, I saw your link this morning, man. If I'd have saw it, man, I'd have jumped up. But I went to sleep. Rael's in the chat. What's going on? Winston Tokahisa. Oh, the Roger Report. What's going on? Long live the habitual line steppers. Biscuit 2005. Biscuit 2005 says there needs to be a line between the cappers and the regular tricks. Us regular tricks, our business is personal. Us regular tricks do not. Us regular tricks do not care for woman's respect, love.
I mean, dudes don't have no problem with calling cappers out. I don't know why there hasn't been this call out of cappers. People always, I hear you, Donnie. People always are being very vague. I'm like, who is out here? I know it happened, so I'm not saying that. But who is out here saying they getting chicks, but on the low they tricking? But they really promoting themselves as that this in this space. I'm talking about that with the comment. That has nothing to do with what y'all was talking about. I'm just speaking to the comment.
I'll tell you in the backtrack because I don't feel like.
Sure. Yeah, do it. No, that's cool. That's cool. Do it in the backtrack because I want to know. I won't say nothing. You fading out.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you right now. Yes. Damn.
He's
Yeah, dude. Like it's horrible, man. It's like when you say you hear me now, you
it's
come
bad.
in great, and then after that, it's like everybody goes,
So
"See, ever
basically,
come in
there's a
here?"
couple of
Okay,
dudes.
now you're good. Now you're great. I think I'm jinxing your ass when I say that because every time I say you good, you go bad.
No.
I feel bad now because it's almost like when I show up, fuck shit happens. So what's up, everybody? This is a takeover of Kev from the Black Men Being Brutally Honest. I am your takeover king, Edward Anderson. I was actually working on that. I know Rael's in the chat. I was actually working on that list. I got 30 names on there so far.
You hear me now?
Go ahead.
All right. So that I like hearing, and I really did try to go through the space organically to try and hear a bunch of the passport bros who have the conversation, and there are two that I really like. One is Chocolate Man in Thailand. Have you heard of that man?
You talking? Is that the dude that runs the Zoom the Thailand channel?
No. It's Zoom and I also like his channel. His channel is a little bit different. I actually had a conversation with him, but Chocolate Man in Thailand, I like his channel a lot. His channel is very well done. His channel is he's probably the best content creator in terms of the passport bro conversation. Chocolate Man in Thailand, I think, is the best done. Period.
I hear that. Yeah, sure. I mean, my thing though is this argument that, and I didn't know who he was, so I'm definitely gonna check this out because ain't nobody arguing that people can do better on the content side. But the argument is the way a lot of people present it is every nigga that got a passport is secretly tricking, and that's the only reason why you would get a passport. That's the shit that's out there. But that's what's said in this space. Go ahead.
So no, that's not something I wanted to be presented. So I don't think that every brother who has a passport is tricking. No. That's just not true.
And that's not you. I'm saying what's in the space, the conventional wisdom. Yeah.
What I do hear in the space is every brother who has a passport has a ticket to Willy Wonka's Golden Coochie Factory.
I'll give you a perfect example. I've been on there myself, and then we got into an argument over stuff like that. Marty, like I don't. So when I look, so that's why who's promoting that? Like I will say this. Are people saying that they're getting better outcomes than what they will otherwise get in the United States? Yes.
Yes.
Now how now and the reality of the situation, you're dealing with dudes that they traditionally, I don't care, even if you got some sort of game, you got to try a hell of a lot harder than you do in the United States. And so that may be flamboyant marketing, but I don't hear it saying it's the Golden Coochie Factory. But I do hear, yeah, you're going to get whatever situation you in here, you probably can do better somewhere else, even if you're not at a decent situation here. So, yeah, I hear that.
So the reason I say the Coochie Factory, right, is because I've gone through these channels and I've not heard somebody say, well, yeah, it was shitty here. Like, oh yeah, nah, these bitches, like, yeah, this bitch played me for a trick. She did this. Listen, y'all got to watch out for this. Hey, if y'all are in this city and this happens, you got to do X, Y, Z. That's why I say it's Willy Wonka and the Coochie Factory, because I've not heard anything tremendously bad. You hear some things that are just like meh, but you never hear anything that's like, oh shit, I got to watch out for that.
That's why I like to see the channels in the back chat, because I listen to Black Man's Travels, Tailor Made Dreams, and I can tell you a couple of others, they talk about that shit. So I mean, but I don't listen to every Passport channel. One Master Teacher, like the dude you name, I don't know who he is. Zuna Thailand, I haven't watched. I know who he is, but I haven't watched a single video, so I don't know everybody.
Dude is real cool. Dude is real cool.
Well, I'm just telling you to say I don't know everybody, so I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong.
Same thing. Same thing. I listen to a lot of channels, and really where this stems from is I had a conversation with Kosher Clinician, and he has Zoom in Thailand on there. And when he had Zoom in Thailand, god damn, gas is damn near $5. Ain't that about a bitch?
Yeah, it's like $4.30 in North Carolina.
Yeah, I had a conversation with him, and he was like, I'd never heard of the tricking, but then I watched his videos and I saw he knew what the tricking was, and he just chose to blatantly ignore that. He has some great thematic elements when he does his videos and everything else. However, Willie D did some content on his channel, and he said, I think his relationship's not gonna last XYZ, which is whatever. And his response to Willie D was, I'm smart enough to know not to move this bitch into the U.S. because,
you talk about Willie D from the music group.
Yes, bald head hose Willie D. Who has? I have some problems with Willie D, but the conversation was still a conversation, and the question was asked, and it became, I'm smart enough to know not to move back to the States with her. I'm living here. I'm gonna die here. And to me, that was a smart question, smart answer. That man said, I'm gonna live and die here. He holds all the cards. So if you're gonna do the quote unquote passport bro shit, which is really expat, find you a woman out there, that's the way to do it. I personally, I can't argue that. If you move to Thailand, Cambodia, XYZ, and you have a woman there who is saying, I want to live with you, and you take care of all her expenses and you can afford that, nigga, shut the fuck up, nigga. Move there. Every black man should move there and do that.
So here's the problem. So I know you're like not a full, and I'm not even a full, I'm trying to transition to get a full content creator. So a lot of this, you're looking at this from a consumer side, and that's not a bad thing. So that's really saying you're looking at it from like more like a referee would look at it. So on the other side, but the truth is, just like how SYSBM is technically something completely different than what the Black Manosphere is, it's just there's a lot of things that cross because a lot of the mentalities. It's kind of like the same thing with the passport community. Like the truth is, the passport community in its entire, you know this because you've seen enough to know it's its own thing. Like there's couples, black couples passport. There's a swirling contingent going to Europe. There's a lot of different stuff. Travel noir, black travel. There's a lot across a lot of different stuff. I'm not saying that to get away from what you're talking about, but the thing about it is when Black Manosphere people talk about this, like Willie D is a pro-black. I'm not saying I'm not, but the thing is, and I get it, his thing is always going to be, I need to make these people look bad so they can just deal with Ado's black women. That's always where his angle is going to be. I'm not saying that to knock off what he said, but he's really not even capable of being not biased. That doesn't take away the direct question he asked. But I say that to say this. In the Black Manosphere, there are angles. And so people can say they got criticism, but my thing, it's always this criticism. And then when I say who said what, you see, you even did it. Everybody says it, and I'm not saying for you to name specific channels, but it's like when the channels I be looking at don't be doing all of that. Like they were talking about the Colombian shit when it comes to niggas getting robbed. They were talking about dumb niggas that's just throwing their money. And it's like, how are you? So I'm talking about Black Male Travels, Roll of Tape, One Master Teacher. This is recently, like when it was happening, saying that you got passport pookies. That's a thing. So it's like when I look at the stuff I'm looking at, and these are not all the channels I look at. Well, I'm just saying, like those them niggas from New York, they basically be going to DR because them flights are cheap, and then they want to do what they can't do because it costs
flights.
Me and Marty have gotten in the
I don't fault you at none of that. I don't fault you at none of that, right? So when you look up Passport Bro XYZ, it like it's a mission. So that's one thing, right? So a lot of the larger Passport Bros, I really don't want to name names, but fuck it.
You don't have to name them. Let's start here. What do you think that mission is, though?
I think it's a mission of it's better out there, and I'm gonna be honest with black people.
I can agree with that. For black men, yes, I can agree that
I'm going to say that it can be a better dynamic. However, a large majority of the dudes that we've talked to on the manosphere,
that term, passport pookies. Yeah. They got their and the fact of the matter is that proves my point. They got their own language, you know. See. So when you read this up, so some of these people, I'm trying to really wonder: are they really technically the passport bro sector? Because there's a whole bunch of channels like what's this dude? Passport Kings, for example. He's not a passport bro, but he's got a very prominent passport channel.
Well, you know, like I said, so the majority of the dudes I've heard when they get on here, they do the prosperity preaching, and I understand the dynamic of them trying to sell their channel. So, I didn't sell, you know, I didn't share this to my Facebook page. So, this is no reflection on Kevin. Black men, be honest, this is no reflection on him. We just gonna be real legit and honest on it, right? So when you hear people, so there's a dude on Facebook, on YouTube. He says he's a V-cell, voluntarily celibate, because he wants to spend his money stacking it. He wants to stack his money.
Always put this stuff in the private chat too, by the way. That's always an option.
Yeah, at this point, I've cleared Kev. This is not on Kev, right? He is a voluntarily celibate nigga because he wants to go out there and go get with these women in these other countries and have legal fun. So to me, when you say legal fun, you can only really go one direction with that, right? So there's that one, right? So when you look at Chocolate Man in Thailand, very cool content. I like watching that dude's content. He's just cool ass dude. He has a badass chick on there. I'm not gonna hold you. That chick is bad. She ain't got nobody whatsoever. Face is a 10. And she got tattoos and shit. That's some shit that just personally I like. But her face is a 10. Every time you see him get on the broadcast with that chick, he's moving around. He's going to different cities and different, like to the mall and doing XYZ. He's like, yeah, I'm buying pho food. I'm buying pho.
But again, like Adani, what you saying is not the reality of what Passport Bros is. Like, I don't even think the chocolate dude is even considering what a passport bro is pretty much dudes that are doing the travel contingent in the black manosphere. And then you got a lot of people that are in the passport community. And it's like almost like one or two dudes are doing goofy shit. And like I said, I've yet to hear who is doing the goofy shit. Because if I see goofy shit, I'm calling it out. Like the last time I was on Black Man Travels, I was talking about dudes.
That's the dude who calls himself BMT?
Yeah.
He's a trick too.
No, that's not. No, Aaron.
No. I know. There's a couple of BMTs, but I know the one you're talking about. But he's Black Man Travels.
Aaron Ferris is in Columbia and living down there.
He's
and
a trick.
Setting the business stuff. Well, I mean, okay, but Aaron don't be promoting that. Okay, the argument is not. I don't even know that. So I mean, that's what you saying. Like, because when his channel was being communicated, like if I were to pull his channel up right now, it's really talking about him really trying to set up networks down there in Medellin, Colombia.
Medellin, yeah.
Yeah. So this idea, see, it's pretty much, it's almost like here's the reality of the situation. Black men don't fucking lead a goddamn county. The majority of them. Like, let's call that what it is.
Yeah, that's true.
So damn the traveling overseas. Black men need to learn how to start moving the fuck around even within the United States of America.
That's a fact.
Like, so we can take, and so when you look at what they're communicating, it's more they're trying to get people out of that and say it's a greater world. Black men understand females is what they move on the easiest. So if they talk about like O'Shea got the King Ghana channel, he's talking about he got into farming, he got into this. Like that King Ghana channel is literally what he's doing in Africa. He's doing this, the international business. Let's be real, Donnie. No nigga gives a fuck about that because they're going to be like, I can do business here. Why do I need to do business there? They're not going to think about it like you would. Saying it's the Wild Wild West over there. And if you got skills, there's a lot of profit margin to be gained. Niggas don't think about that. They think about, why would I do that over there when I can do it in here? That's what you're dealing with. Go ahead.
I will say that the majority of black men who do the travel road shit are not capable of doing that, and that's what the problem is, right?
Well, here's that's true. Hold on. The thing there's levels to traveling, and then it becomes: is this an indictment on Passport Bros? Even that being true, and then because you said they do it, the point is that's why that content is not promoted. Like, and so this argument becomes these people got to be on trial, and it always comes back to tricking. Okay, I want to know, and I'm not putting you on the spot. I'm just asking this. I'm not really asking you directly. I'm really asking this for people that have the mentality. Who the fuck is like, because people in the chat I know don't give a damn. So y'all in Discords and shit, I'm not saying to put it out here. Y'all in Discords, I've yet to hear niggas outwardly say, these niggas are tricking and they're lying and they're saying that they're getting women when on the low they're tricking. Because truth too is you could do both. You could be tricking and so this idea, so it's this indictment that every nigga that's got a passport channel, that's what they are doing. Unless you want some Jabril passport heavy shit.
It's not every nigga that's doing it with the passport channel is doing it. And let me say this very clearly. If you go out and you go trick, you spend money on pussy, don't take shame in the shit. I don't understand it. If you're doing it, take pride in the fact that you're doing it. Nigga, I went out here and paid these 2 bitches for $200 and or these 4 bitches and I had to force them, nigga. Congratulations, nigga. However, the problem is niggas will go and present it another way and they're not doing it.
That's the thing.
And that's what
I have been in this. Look, I come from the passport community. I predate the manosphere with that. I've been hearing this literally now. It is 2022. I was in the passport community. I'm talking about before I even knew what the Black Man's for 10 years now. I have yet to see people really put people out there or really say this. And the fact that it's always this, it's a cloud that can't, it's like Batman in the Batman movie. It's a shadow and where it is or where, it's like, and I'm not saying you got to put people on blast,
awesome
but I'm telling you, in 10 years, I've yet to see somebody put one channel, one out for doing that. They just put it out there, and it's kind of like saying, well, black women get killed every 5 hours, so every black man is violent.
No. So
that's what happened.
You know what? That may be true. You never seen it, okay? But I'm here. We're gonna talk about it. So, Chocolate Man in Thailand. He's an expat. He's living there. He's tricking on this bitch every time he goes out.
He's not in a passport, bro. But go ahead.
Oh, he's not? Okay.
No, Chocolate Man, because I know most of the passport bros. Again, Passport Kings is not a passport bro. So for Passport Heavy, I can give you a whole list of dudes.
So I'm just gonna say this: when you type people in, they put certain hashtags. So maybe there's a certain like the manosphere. There's only certain people that are legitimately in the manosphere. Maybe there's certain people that are legitimately in the passport sector, right? So that's what it is. But when you type in passport bro, you get Chocolate Man in Thailand, right? There's Rollo. Rollo, I don't have no problem with Rollo. Every time you hear Rollo's getting on the bus, getting off the bus. He lives in New York. He's public transportation.
What's his channel? Rollo.
I don't know what maybe one of y'all know what Rollo's channel is.
Rollo on the 7th.
Yeah,
that guy. He's taking a lot of shots at the space. But
I've laughed at Rollo. Go ahead.
Real quick, I just want to call out this super chat from Giogami. Thank you. Long live the habitual line steppers. Greeting to all. Long live. You also got Castro's World up here. My boy Castro.
So, and I love this conversation because what happens is it becomes this, because what passport bros are going to do is say, this nigga probably never traveled. That's why they get caught off guard. And I tell them, stop doing that. Every nigga that has something to say ain't nobody that's on child support and can't get a passport. So it becomes these like World War II, like this World War I, nobody never moves ground. You said Rollo on the 7th. So this dude is not a passport bro.
I don't know if so is there a particular passport bro like sector where they're all verified? Is
what
that what it is?
passport bros means is that is like dudes that pretty much agree with a lot of the stuff in the black manosphere. So typically they're gonna be SYSBM. And typically, so it's like kind of like Brooklyn, how there's the Manhattan side of Brooklyn, kind of like something like that.
Right.
But every black man with a passport channel doesn't necessarily agree with what we say in the black manosphere.
Right, but my dynamic here is I'm asking you, like, so you have people who are considered the black manosphere and they're not, and then people who are on the manosphere list, right? And then you have people who have the mindset and mentality and they preach with the manosphere and they're congruent with the manosphere, so they're considered black manosphere, right?
But they may
so
not
what are
be
we talking about?
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
So what are we talking about when we say passport bro? Let's get a definition there.
I just said it. It is dudes with a passport that are in the black manosphere. So like Theo, them like that, like they're manosphere part SYSBM and they have passports because only 6% of black men have passports. So everybody with it. So like for example, Passport Kings, Rockland is not a passport bro because he's not in the black manosphere.
Okay, so I will say this. At that point you number it down pretty fucking small.
Yeah, and Donnie, and I'm saying that, and I just want to add this. The reason why I say that is because you won't really see them use the term passport bros. That's something that's unique to the manosphere. So if you can tell,
okay,
yeah. So I mean, and I know this because I'm privy, like for a minority nomad, I'm privy to it. Like there's people I've told don't even come into the black manosphere because you're gonna deal with a lot of fuck shit that's unnecessary. And it'll mire your channel down because they may have audiences. Another thing too is a lot of passport channels don't have audiences that just communicate to black men. Their channels are a little bit more broader than that. So they
reach out.
Yeah.
So okay. So even more to my point, you have white folks called mongers and sex
tourism. Yeah.
Yeah. So at that point, when you talk about passport bros, you start talking about dudes who are sex tourists and mongers, but they differentiate themselves because they're black. Okay, I'll accept that. Cool. They're still in the sex tourism monger network along with the passport bros. They're just not a part of this manosphere. Okay, I give you that.
I mean, my thing is the disclosure piece. Like for instance, are you a dude trying to act like you a dating coach, but you really tricking? That's what I define as the charge that you're bringing to nigga court right now. And I don't see a lot of channels doing that because them niggas would have got flamed. Like Aaron would have got, if Aaron was doing that and he was lying, Aaron would have got flamed. Because you got dudes like Jap and other dudes where they looking for a nigga to get caught slipping just so they can say, see, I told you niggas, all these niggas were lame. This is why it gets to the point where people are lobbing like real strong firework bombs, tomahawk missiles, talking about, well, we don't know if them niggas are playing with chicks underage. Like they just, and they do. It's like black women. You don't know if that black man you with could kill you. Because every 5 hours a black woman's being killed. That's kind of, this ain't about you.
Nah,
I'm really talking about this in general. You're responding about what you do. I'm talking about what I see. Yeah.
I get 1,000%. So when I had this conversation, when I said the passport bros, there's dudes who label their videos or they put the hashtag in there, right, to get the algorithm going, right? So when you see the white boys who are doing the sex tourism, the sex monger, and all that shit, they'll go so far as to tell you, they'll be like, if you go to Pattaya, you shouldn't pay more than this. If you want to get in a one-night hotel, you shouldn't pay more than this. And I think there should be more of that in the space.
Okay, well, in those channels, so we need to root out every nigga that's lying then. Because the argument still goes back to people that are lying. Number one, you're not going to see that in this space because black men are going to destroy it. because of the culture. That's what I think Kevin was talking about.
Ooh.
That the closest you're gonna get to that, to be solution oriented, is like a Facebook group, or a Telegram.
But here's the problem. And there shouldn't be a stigma on tricking. There shouldn't be a stigma on sex tourism.
That's a different conversation. That's not
But
up to me.
but that's where I'm going with it. There should not be a
There's
stigma
a stigma on
on motherfuckers. Well, I'm not gonna get into that. But we're talking about these two things, right?
Everything is you trying to fuck a doll. That's not what MGTOW is. But go ahead.
Yeah, but like my thing is this: if you're gonna go out here and fuck these women for a price, that's fine. That's cool. Do what you want to. That's your money, right? But if you're out here with a channel, let's not pretend that you're on here taking pictures with these three women. It went down that night. You had a threesome or a foursome, and it was all for free. No, you paid. Okay.
So what I want. So this is what I want. Fuck the rooting these guys out. I want to see. This is what I would like to see from people. I want to see videos where niggas are giving these elaborate stories. I don't even need we don't even need to charge them up with are they tricking, like oh, they're really lying. I just want to see who dudes that even are telling stories, because like I said, a lot of folks, again, and maybe these are the channels I look at, but I'm in Discords. I don't see these things aggregated. So I just, can somebody even provide me dudes giving elaborate stories of I got a threesome, I got this, even if it's in a panel. That's what I would like to see. Like for the audience,
in Thailand,
in the audience, anywhere, like whatever, like what I would like to see from audiences that typically charges is let's go through, because I would do a play-by-play on this stuff. Like like who is out here really saying they're having all of this sexual coochie wonderland and putting that on YouTube in a, like, as far as that we know, associate with the Black Manosphere, because that makes the Black Manosphere look bad, low key. That's why SBM look, like I said, they got a term for it. And by the way, Pablo is aware of the term too. It's called, like I said, it's called passport pookies, and because it makes the whole thing looks bad. So a lot of folks, that's why even back in the day, I was saying, I already know the niggas that do that. It's them niggas like they fucked up DR. It's a lot of them niggas, the New York niggas, because they got cheap flights to the DR. It's them in Miami, but Miami, they typically not go book like that because you got a lot of that right there anyway. So,
damn, why gotta be New York niggas?
Because, like I said, Castro,
that's you niggas.
No, I'm not saying that because I have an issue with New York niggas, but I'm saying New York, New Jersey, you all have the cheapest flights direct to the DR because you all have a Dominican Republican population. Just like Chicago has a pretty good thing to pretty good route to Puerto Rico because the majority of Hispanic population in Chicago is Puerto Rico. So the flights are a lot cheaper, so you all have direct access. So usually when you see black dudes going over there, either they Dominican or they're generally going to be from New York. I'm talking about back in the day when the DR wasn't really effed up like that. Because it's an so dudes could pretty much go on the weekend and wild out. You either go to a strip club or the flights were very, very inexpensive and they were consistent. Most of the places in the United States, the DR flights are not that cheap. That's why. It's not that I'm saying, oh, y'all niggas just fucked up. Is it y'all? If it would have been from Atlanta to DR, oh, they would have probably fucked it up faster. So it's just access. And I looked at that type of stuff because I was looking at flights. Shout out to Google Flights, by the way.
All right.
New York is the biggest tricks. Yeah, that's right, nigga. No, I'm playing.
Y'all also got high cost of living too. So the money you make in New York is going to translate a lot stronger in DR because y'all make more because of your cost of living. There's that too.
Hey, and let me offer some clarity here, because I may not be able to speak for Donnie, but I can speak for me. I don't think the whole passport bro thing is just Black Manosphere. I think that it goes beyond the space. So I understand, when we rep the space, that we have to keep some things cleared up. But passport bro material, I believe, can supersede the Black Manosphere itself. So as far as the involvement in the space, I would say because we so easily recognize those content creators, then it can be easily called out if they were to go that route. But there are some crazies on this motherfucking platform we call YouTube.
Yeah. I'm in the passport community, so I'm pretty much I know how it's why I'm aware of the channels of black men and black women couples. I'm aware of the bigger channels. I'm giving gates, so I can tell you right now. Yeah, now more people are using that because they see that as a way of getting a specific audience. It's just like when Kevin Samuel blew up. You're gonna like when people started putting out Red Pill, and then they started talking shit about Red Pill. Oh, it's the white pill now and stuff because they wanted to. Yeah, but for the most part the passport community, passport bros were the sector of pretty much they were kind of in between SYSBM and the Black Manosphere. And those are the guys that reflected that. This is why when you look at the channels that people would go after certain YouTubers, it was always the same guys. It wasn't new guys. And then the one time they brought up that one dude that got trumped up with charges, nobody really knew him. Maybe a couple of audience people listened to him, but you didn't really see him associate with anybody 1 or 2 degrees from us because he wasn't over here. And then people tried to bring him over there because he had a following and say that's a passport bro. And I'm like, his audience, if somebody don't have a majority black audience, black male audience in particular, that's kind of like the biggest indicator as far as their proximity to our space because that wouldn't validate their audience. And most of the passport channels, for the most part, outside of a couple, like One Master Teacher is kind of his own thing, and that's why he's bigger. But most of them are relatively small, with a couple of exceptions. So, I mean, that's cool. You may see more passport bros being used now again because that's a way of getting to an audience, especially with hashtags and stuff getting more popular on YouTube. But for the most part, when you say passport bro, it's not really a hit at everybody in the every black man in the tribal community. It's really certain folks that have a proximity to us. That's why niggas are always thinking they have the right to say something. But I mean, maybe we revisit that. But from what I've seen, that's what it is.
Okay, Castro. Any thoughts? What you heard so far?
I kind of came in at the middle. Just to clarify what we're talking about, we're just kind of going over where the passport bros kind of sit as far as like the black manosphere. Is that what we're talking about?
Not really. It was more so about man, Donnie. This is you. You can tell him because you. This was about the conversation you had. I didn't even see that conversation with Sister Joy. To me, that shit's suspect. Even in itself, they would ask you about that, but whatever. Because because I got my thoughts on that alone. But go ahead, Donnie.
What was it? I'll be checking out at the grocery store. What was the question?
Basically, what's the conversation about? Because he thought it was about the proximity, and I get why you thought that, but it's about the proximity between the Manosphere and Passport Bros. But it's really not about that. So if you can let him know, because you would like to guess the honor.
Y'all gotta go past me. I'll be right back.
All right, no, absolutely. So yeah, basically, Donnie had he was a guest on the breakdown. 2 women. I don't know if you know.
Oh
And
yeah, I was on there too.
okay, absolutely. So this is kind of an after. I mean, like the title. This is an after show of that. So Kevin was asking him some stuff. Kevin had to leave. He's back, and really, it's anything that has to do with that. But we were kind of talking about. I was making it clear like who Passport Bros were. This is idea that any black man with a passport channel could be a passport bro, and that's not really the case. So yeah.
Got you. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I was on that show with Sister George. Sister George. I was on that show with her too.
Danielle.
As far as like traveling, like I mentioned on that show, that's really what I'm aiming for my page to be surrounded about. But it's like I said, it's not more so the dating aspect. I feel like a lot of these traveling YouTube pages, I feel like majority of the conversation is surrounded about the women in the dating
Yeah,
scene.
that's how you
And
generate traffic.
yeah, and I understand that. But at least I know for me, I don't necessarily think that's a good thing. I feel like when we surround our trips with things like that, you can either end up doing it how you may not want to do it, or you end up with disappointment. When I took my trip out, I didn't take the trip thinking I was gonna find women to have sex with. The main reason why I wanted to take the trip is because, like what you mentioned, majority of us don't really have passports and don't really leave our residence or our state. So for me, it was like I don't want to be one of those type of people. I want to travel. I want to see new things, see different cultures, meet different people. The sex and the women, that's just a cherry on top for me. And I feel like that should more so be the focus when we're traveling. We should really be focusing more on the area we're going to, the culture, and things like that, as opposed to just having sex with these women. And I do agree with what Donnie said as far as the prosperity preaching that comes from a lot of these pages. Because yeah, if you're tricking and that's what you want to do, I mean that's cool. You know, you live your life. That's your money. I'm not here to tell you what you should or shouldn't do, but at least be honest about it. You know, I noticed that a lot of these pages, they'll sit here and they'll make it seem like these women are so different night and day compared to the women in the US. But really, what they're doing is they're paying for their time, right? They're giving them money so that they can stay around them and do the things that they want them to do. And the only difference between that out there and that in the US is that it's cheaper to do that out there. If
So
you
I
had
gotta.
the money that you had in the US, that you had out there,
So so
and you
so.
had
Castro, hold
sexually
on,
had
hold on,
the
hold on.
money,
Let
you
me
could
let me
pay
let me ask you a
faster.
question. Because so I'm the reason. Because I sold him on going abroad. Because he works a job that he can essentially be a digital nomad. So I sold him on the job of or on the ride of going to Southeast Asia. When I talked to you about going to Southeast Asia, at any point did I talk about sex? Was I was like, yeah, you just get all the pussy you want to? Like, was that what you got from me? How did I
No,
sell
when
it to
we
you?
when we spoke, it was really more so about what was out there, like the views, the things you can do, and stuff like that. That's why I was saying like the sex was really an afterthought for me because I mean I knew that when I went out there, I would be rare. I'm a Black American. I'm taller than most of the people there. I knew that I would stand out and I would be able to make that work to my benefit. But when I went out there, like I said, that wasn't my thought process. That wasn't the first thing when I landed, like, all right, let me go get some pussy. Like I wasn't really thinking that way. And that's not what was sold to me when I initially was planning to go out there.
All right. So this is it's just like if you take let's take the sex out of it. When you look, if you're gonna create a black business channel, you typically talk about credit. You know why? Because that's what the fucking people are. And then you transition into other things that you want to talk about. Another thing, if you want to talk about crypto and stuff, because that's the hot thing. And so there's a difference between having a one-on-one conversation with somebody and creating a content channel, especially one you want to pop off. So a lot of the stuff that does well is do fill in the blank women like black men. I've seen that with one master teacher. I've seen that with a couple of people. That's why that happens. So what happens is because I had this conversation with other channels about the black manosphere in general, not talking about more productive stuff that they want to be talked about. To be fair to you, Castro, you're saying you're going to create your own channel, so you're going to step up and do that. I definitely want to see how that turns out. But a lot of like one master teacher is a perfect example. One master teacher he does travel, he does finance, he does travel and finance. And he did those things, but his channel is arguably a little more about finance than it is travel. But it's about 65-35, I would say. And he lives in London. So the point is, it's a different. You all are really complaining. Not someone's complaining, but you all are voicing discontent about what's said to generate an audience versus what's said on the back end. So it's like this storefront says this, even though maybe the back end says that. And then when I say, okay, what? Because I listen to some of this content too, and I've been doing this stuff for 10. I know the fuck shit that's out here. It's not that I don't know. And a lot of dudes, they don't even look at these channels. They just pretty much assume it just because they want to assume things that they already want to believe about the stuff in general. Even with you look at Sister George, of course they're gonna say that because their idea is any nigga that travels a fucking lane and they want you to stay here so they can. It's sexual politicking. I could care less how they want to see it. That's what it is. Because you don't never hear these chicks say the same thing about women doing the same shit. Because black women trick overseas more than black men. And that's one of the things that is never talked about. I know all the cities, Cabaret. Hell, they wrote a book about it in Jamaica. So my point is that never is talked about, and is never talked about how black women could be vulnerable going overseas and all of this stuff. How what black women are really doing is hoeing and slutting themselves out. You don't never see no black women, and nobody really talk about that. And the men to talk about it's like an afterthought, even on the thoughts to do it. But it's all this thing about niggas need to disclose this and do that. And I'm like, well, fuck it. Put them out there. They're not doing it.
So let me say this.
Because it's been, I'm saying this, it's been like 5 years. And I can't think of nobody prominent that's been put out here for that. I'm not saying that's your job. I'm just saying for everybody to say that. So like all this esoteric where everybody got to kind of hold the L for like what a couple of people were doing. I'm like, damn that. If you know they doing it, put their ass out there. Like otherwise.
Let me do this. My goal is not to say anybody needs to hold the L. And my goal is to say, hey, listen, why are we not talking about this more as a whole? Because when you look at these white travel channels, they'll tell you how much these hoes cost in certain cities. They'll tell you how much you should be paying, what you should be doing, where you should go, what kind of games to watch out for, right? As far as Sister Danielle
I can tell
George,
you a lot of that is not talked about on YouTube because black channels will be shut down for that. A lot of that stuff is talked about in Telegram. It's talked about in Facebook groups and private Facebook groups.
Well, listen, I haven't seen it, but on Facebook groups, white folks talk about it, right? And then in addition to the whole black women go abroad, yeah, they do that. They go out there, they get pussy up, they go bring motherfuckers over here. Niggas is gay, they on the down low, and then they want to try and put it on black men in the States. They'll go over there and they'll get white boys. I've heard sisters to where they've been like, oh, I met this man, he's Hispanic, he loves me so much. He fucked her 2 or 3 times, wouldn't even kiss her on the wedding day. And the bitch is like, oh, I'm just so lost because she thought she was going to get some light-skinned babies out the deal. And then the nigga divorced her and she looks foolish as fuck, right? All of this shit happens. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. What I'm saying is from when I scroll through the manosphere and you have a lot of these broad conversations, from what I can see, these niggas are going, it's wonderful out here. There's no downside. And then when you look at people who are like Thailand bound, they'll tell you some good shit, but they'll be like, listen, these bitches are charging you double for a drink. They'll get alcohol and Red Bull. That's 2 drinks. Right.
This is what I want to see going forward, and I'm just saying this for anybody in the audience. I'm gonna say this again. People got Discords, people in my Telegram. I want the links, and then I will personally do play-by-plays on it. Like I'm not just running my mouth. I will do play-by-plays on people doing any fuck shit you see. I will do a play-by-play on it. I will go through it. I'll do a play-by-play on it. I'll put myself out there. So that's what I want to see. Because what I'm seeing is a whole bunch of people saying shit. When niggas say shit, we got the receipts, we got the game. Oh, look at what this dude say. People have tried to run that shit on me with stuff that I I stand on it. I see a whole bunch of there's air that I can feel and can't touch. So I want the videos. I mean, that's what I want. I mean, I'm just saying, oh, this is fuck shit. As soon as you hear it, as soon as you hear this bullshit, share it to yourself. Because that's what I do, and then give me the link, and then I'll do a play-by-play on it.
All right.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's all I'm saying because I've been around for a long time, and it's always the same conversation. It's like it's nothing. It's like niggas are saying this, but they're saying this, and then and I'm listening to this stuff, and it'd be like not that. Like, but that's all. I'm saying this for everybody. So anyway,
yeah. Real quick. Let me read this super chat. Prime VA 757. Really appreciate this. Said Foreign Strategies is a good channel too. Those brothers vlog and they interview women in the countries they visit. They also describe the dating scenes in those places. And a couple shout outs. Shout out to Ron Ibiziaco. Hurry up and buy. Longo Savage. Raven Knight, what's going on? Thanks for coming through and thanks for supporting the channel, y'all. Yeah, and let me offer a little clarity as far as the subject matter that was brought up in the breakdown. Actually, Donnie and Sister George did talk about how black women go to other countries to trick, and it's the issues that are involved with that. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Okay, I mean that's fine, but that still doesn't take away what I said as far as the sexual politicking of it. I mean, they're smart enough to put certain things out there so it doesn't seem like that. And I know people said that they don't believe in traveling just for women. And a lot of the channels that I personally listen to, and again, this is my own anecdotal experience. This is why I'm asking for the channels in the back chat so I can listen to these things at 2.0 playback speed. And I could go through it. You know, and I mean, do I need to kind of give a list of all the channels? Because I could probably produce about 30 travel channels, that I know of, and some of them that I listen to. Because a lot of what gets said, when I go through these channels, yeah, it's not the way it's being put out. Like it's not. And so people, it's like almost like people got a feed, and it's like if you got a whole bunch of black manosphere people and you hear the feed algorithm is pushing stuff towards you. And I'm gonna tell you how I know, because I got different accounts for different things. That way the algorithm can only push certain things out to me. This gives me access to some of the smaller channels. So I'm not putting nobody on blast. I'm just saying that going forward, if y'all want something, it needs to be shared a link, and if I choose to put it up, it don't even got to be, oh, I got this link from this person. It could just be, oh, I got this, I want to do a play-by-play. Let me tell you the negative things about this, blah blah blah. I'm telling you, I'll do it. That's what I'm saying. This to anybody in the audience, anybody that might see this, because what I've been hearing for fucking 5-6 years, I've been hearing the same shit for 6 years. Niggas talking about tricking us. All they talking about, okay, who? Well, just niggas. Who? Well, what the fuck? I shouldn't have to tell you. And I'm like, I'm tired of that after this long. That's all. Maybe it's just me being on one, but yeah.
Well, I get it, but I watch a lot of dudes traveling abroad, and they got a chick that are with them. And perfect example, Chocolate Man in Thailand. At this point, fuck it, right? Every time you see that nigga doing a video, he's out, he's living his best life, and I'm not even gonna fault that nigga for it. He's having a phenomenal time. If I had the money and I wasn't married and like I'm like fuck it, I'm an expat, I'd be doing what he's doing. Like just that's just what it is, right? Every time you see a video, he's got that chick in there, uh, cute face, nobody. They're going out to go do something. He's buying her food. He's buying her dresses. He's doing X, Y, Z. He may not show that he's buying it, but they'll be walking somewhere and she'll be like, "Oh, this pretty dress. Oh, that's a pretty dress. Yeah, this pretty dress. Oh, the video cuts. He's somewhere else. You know what I mean? So he bought that bitch a bit. You know what I'm saying?
So your
So
issue is with black people, black people, the travel community in general, because this nigga ain't in our space at all. Like not even one second to third degree. I'm gonna see if I've seen him associate. Have you seen him associate with anybody like Aaron Ferris or anybody like that? Like that we know are associated with the space, like Pablo, Aaron Ferris, any of the SYSB and passport guys.
I feel like
I'm not
Pablo's
putting
a
you.
trick. I got to look up Aaron Ferris. Like literally,
I do
we
have
could
a
probably
question
do it.
though. Do you have to? Is there like requirements you have to hit to be a part of like the passport, bros?
Well, you
Because
got to
that's
be
what it
connected
sounds
to the
like to
black
me.
manosphere. Because that's why people in the
Oh,
black manosphere think they have a right to tell other people what to do. Because then it'd be, oh, you pulling some random nigga from somewhere else, and it's like, why are you bringing this up? Well, niggas out here do that, but that's not anybody that we know. I'm just saying in general. But so if you pull a random, so even this dude, Chocolate Man, I'm glad you brought the channel up because I'm gonna look at the content. I didn't know who the fuck this dude was. I don't know who the fuck this dude is. Like this dude, I'm looking at his channel. He got PewDiePie, Journeys, CJ for a little bit different is
He
somebody
got he
like
got the
these
Black
none.
Power Ranger on there. The nigga's doing his thing. No, that's Zoom in Thailand. But yeah, Chocolate Man in Thailand, phenomenal videos. I'm not
Now,
gonna
Zoom
hold
to
him.
Thailand is yeah, but the thing about it is that's a Zoom to Thailand would be a better example because he's starting that he's having like he's been on the out he's connected to the SYSB and folks to tell some black because you hear his name floating around. So he would be actually a better example. But even he's like again, these are not people that's been interviewed by oHes or anybody of note that is in the space. You will never see
No,
these
no, no.
dudes
well, that's
really
not true.
closely
That's
associated.
not true.
That's
Huh?
not
He had
true. Yeah, that's
That's
not
not
true.
true. He
What's
had
not
the lead
true?
attorney on
He's
there.
had lead attorney on there. He's
He
had
had
Kevin Samuels fuck with
Well,
him.
mediocre
I'm talking about
tutorials on there.
chocolate. I'm talking about chocolate. That's why I said Zoom would be better. But y'all
Yeah.
are bringing people. That's why I said Zoom would be better because he has the escort. That's why y'all
I'm
jumped
talking
on it.
about I'm talking about
But
Zoom. Zoom has
yeah,
been
I'm
on them
talking about
channels.
chocolate. I'm talking about chocolate. That's why I
Yeah,
said
Zoom is a
Zoom would.
trick too.
That's why I said Zoom would be a better example. To say that because he has been on the outskirts with certain stuff, which is part why his channel is popping. But again, it gets to again. That's why I'm saying, okay, this is that. So now I'm gonna look at his stuff. It's almost like y'all, oh well, Jabril does travel friendly videos, and it's like, yo, well, I got a problem with that because they need to say what the real is. Why? Unless they're actively saying that I'm getting all these chicks because my game and I'm selling dating coach stuff, and like that's what they got to be doing. Them showing the video, and because they're not, are you saying that these niggas, let's say they're not saying that they got game and the power of their game is getting all these women. You're saying that it's these dudes' obligation to disclose to your black ass because dudes are just not smart enough to actually understand that could be going on. It is their job to say, hi, my name is Zoom. I am a trick. If you listen to this is tricking content. So all the
Well,
dumbasses in the
I don't
back,
think that's
they
the
look at
case.
TV and believe what's on their TV because they believe in Santa Claus.
Yeah,
It's like
but
internet
that's not.
marketing. I got to give a disclaimer
But that's
about
not.
hi.
But that's not what we're looking for, though. That's at least
So
enough
what are
for
you
me.
looking
I'm
for?
not sure.
Correct me
I'm
then.
not sure what Donnie was referring to, but that's not what I was talking about. What I'm looking for is the honesty as far as the difference in women. That's what I'm talking about. Like I
Okay,
said, if you wanna trick and you wanna spend money
Castro,
on women, that's
you
cool.
said
Even on
yourself.
just give me one
Cool.
moment. Let me finish explaining. So it's even for my trip. Like Donnie will tell you, he even considers me a trick as far as some of the stuff I did while I was out there. I don't see it as that, but it is what it is. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with men deciding to spend money on women that they want to deal with or giving money, transactional sex. That's your business. But what I'm saying is you have to be honest with as far as the differences in the women. Even when we're talking about culture, yes, there's a bit of a different culture there, but when it comes to the West culture, we are under a magnifying glass when it comes to the whole world. So our culture travels all around the world. So to think that or to say on your channel that the women here are amazing or to give off this idea as if they're just so submissive and perfect when in reality they'll get you just the same way someone else will get you in the US. That's what I'm referring to. I don't care what you do with your money, but let's be honest with the guys that have not traveled about the women that are there.
So
Let's
you're
not
saying
just
all the
sell
women
them
are you
women.
saying all the women are the same at the end of the
Come on,
day?
bro. Yes, I'm saying at the end of the day,
I don't
women are
agree with
women.
that. I don't agree with
And
that at all. I
that's
don't.
fine.
The women
I
are not
believe
even the
I
same in the
believe at
United
the end of
States
the
of
day,
America.
I believe
Go
at the
ahead.
end of the day, women are going to be women. Yes, are the women in the US totally different than the women overseas? Yes. Do they do things maybe a bit differently? Yes. But at the end of the day, women are going to be women. Women are going to use
So
what they have to get what they want.
so
That's
so
not going to
so
change.
let's because I've been to the Philippines. I ain't been as many places as Donnie, but I've been to multiple places too. And I'm
You been to
not
the
tall.
Philippines?
I'm sure. Yeah, I was in the Philippines 6 months. I went for my job. Like most normal people go for stuff. So I was there for 6 months. So
People
I
travel.
understand.
Don't put
I
yourself down on
what I'm
that.
no. I'm saying is that I'm not in this. I went for pussy. So when I say this, it's not me trying to defend that. I know. And the first time I was introduced to sexual tourism, as far as the reality of it, was by a white boy. And that was the first thing he tried to do. And then I hung out there because that's where he did. This is a dude that was literally like, technically, I was older than him, but he was in a higher rank than me, whatever with that. And then the next week, I said, yo, is this some place? And we went like 2-3 blocks up and in Manila, and then this is where the real clubs. I was like, why the fuck didn't you take me to the real clubs? And so it was what it was. So my point is, this argument that all women are the same, the reality is these women are not cultured the same. So even in the United States, I got a
Bro,
question for you.
I'm
Well,
not
no,
saying all women are the
I'm not
same. What I'm
arguing with.
saying is women are going to be women. That's the point I'm
But
trying to make. Women are going to be women. Women are going to use what they have to get what they
I
want.
don't
It doesn't
disagree
have to
with
be
that.
in a malicious way.
I don't
That's
disagree
all
with
I'm
that.
saying.
But
That's
the
all I'm saying.
argument, but see, this argument, it's almost like I almost got to ask you, like, where are you from here? Because it's almost like you're saying, I'm from Chicago, okay, and
I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
okay, then. So for you to say that fuck the tricking, for you to say that the atmosphere that you're gonna be in the group of women just hanging, fuck sex, just hanging out, is not going to be like almost like 180 difference.
But
Even
bro, I
if you
didn't
go
say
into
that.
Europe.
I didn't say that.
Okay, so
All
I
I
What he
don't know
said
what you're
what
saying.
was
It's
what
like
he's
you're
women
saying
saying
a
are
is,
lot
going
and
to
hold
be
saying
on,
nothing.
women.
let me
Women are
clear
going
this
to
up. What
use
he's
what
saying
they
is
have
women
to
are
get what they
fundamentally
want.
the
That is
same.
all I'm saying.
They want
I'm not saying
security.
the
They want a
vibe is
man
going
to
to be
take care of
different.
them. X, Y, Z.
I'm not saying that the conversations are different. I'm not saying the energy is going to be different. I'm not saying that the energy of all women are going to be the same. I'm from New York City. You are from Chicago. You know how our women are. Am I going to sit here and say that the women in Thailand are just like the women
But
in
that's what
Chicago
they're
and New York?
communicating, and
That's
that's where your problem
that's
is.
but see, no, but see, this is the point I'm making. They'll sit there and they'll talk about these Thai women as if they are God's gift from earth. And they aren't going to finesse you. They just want a good man that's going to come and take care of them. And they'll be submissive. They'll wash your drawers and all this other shit. And they're not being honest. Because, yes, there's women that out here that will do that. But women are going to be women. Women are going to use what they have to get what they want. And if they know you're a sucker, if they know that you are walking in money first, they will use that and they will take
I,
advantage of you. But the
I,
minute you stop using that money, the energy and the vibe is going to be totally different.
okay.
That's how that goes.
So as somebody that has been overseas for a while, that I go, I haven't been overseas in a while, but when I've been over there. My thing is, my perspective is not of they act right as long as you give them money. I'm talking about, because I'm more about building relationships for a lot of different stuff. Because I'm more of the problem with black men, why more black men need to travel, is because if we have black men out there that have those relationships, this is why I like a lot of what Aaron Ferris is doing. Because I'm not a expat dude, but I definitely would support people that are building networks on the ground so we can have these hubs where needed. This is why I like Taylor Made Dreams. This is why I liked what Charles Tyler, rest in peace, was doing, because this is what they were talking about, because that allows shout out for Dynas in Search for Uhuru in Nigeria. These relationships matter. So my problem is a lot of this is like, my thing is, y'all keep talk like, again, I gotta tell you, I promise you, I have watched probably 4 or 5 times more actual travel content than probably you and Donnie combined. Because I look at videos at 2 times playback speed, and I work from home, so a lot of times I can absorb shit. And then this is going back to in the manosphere. So if you all, I would like for you all to put who's doing this in the private chat, and I will absorb their channels, because I can listen to them at 2 times playback speed, because I always got something in my ear, even in my skull candy, while I'm doing something. Because
So
I'm telling, no, because my thing is, all of this stuff about they lie, I've watched this content. I know who's bullshitting, and to a certain extent who's not. And even the channels that are bullshitting, a lot of stuff that y'all saying is absent is not absent.
so let me do this. You may have seen the content that they put out. I will give you that. Okay, I'll say that. I know a lot of the content creators that are out here doing the space on a level before they started doing content. I'll say that. A prime example, Castro, you listening?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who, think real hard on this, the dude who did the penny clapbacks in RT? Don't say his
Penny
name.
Okay.
You know who I'm talking about, Slaying Evil?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know
I
that
think
he
I
has a
know.
new? Okay, one of the profiles he used to use was Bab Zoomin. Do you know that name?
Bab Zoomin? You said Bab Zoomin?
Yeah.
It sounds familiar. Why? What about him?
Okay. So he's one of the dudes who create. Actually, I think he did create the SYSBM.
All right, well,
Hmm.
everybody, if you saying that, then everybody knows who he is.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
he wouldn't even be associated with a travel channel. But go ahead.
Right, but he moved. He's done the SYSBM. I use that as a dynamic to say there's a lot of dudes in space, Taz included. Like it's from left to right. There's a lot of dudes in the space, MOT, right? All these dudes in the space, I've heard of them well before they got into space. So I'm seeing a lot of these dudes, and it's not much of a difference from what they were saying on Facebook 10 years ago.
Okay, I remember that, but again, all this CIA, because like I'm not saying it's got to be put on public platforms. What I'm saying is people know how to email me and get to me. My problem is it's always like an attack when this stuff. I'm not talking about you, but this stuff. If this stuff is really as big of a problem, then the information needs to be shared and gotten through. Because it's too much. People want to bring shit up to bring shit up, and then it's like nothing really being said. It's just I don't like this whole thing. We're not going to define what it is. We're just going to say I don't like what they're doing, how they're doing it. If they could do this, and nobody can't even resolve the problem if you really can't make it clear as to what kinetically is really the issue.
Well,
Because
well,
you
Well, the
can't even bring
resolution is talking about it yourself. I mean, that's my thing. Like I said, I'm not here to talk down anybody else's content. What you decide to put on your YouTube channel, if it works for you, that's your business. But if it's something that I see that I mean I'm not a fan of, instead of me trying to talk down or to destroy someone's page, I'd rather just talk about it myself. And that's what I did on my page.
no,
When I
and I
went and did
applaud
my travels, I
and that I
prefer to
applaud.
talk about what I'm doing
yeah.
as opposed
I
to having to worry about and
But
go through a whole
I think
review
more
or a
black
whole
men should open
YouTube
up
video of what
black
someone else
male.
is doing.
I think more black men should open up more black male sex tourism channels because it encourages black men to get out. Period, point
well,
blank. If
no,
nothing else,
I mean fine, but I'm telling you from a I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm telling you from a reality that shit ain't going nowhere. Like not with
why
no
not?
black male audience.
Why not?
Don't act
Nigga,
like you don't know what culture you're
doing
in.
it.
Don't play that. Like I don't even know why.
I do.
Because first of
I very much do know what culture I am in,
all, okay,
but
so
coding
come
it and
on,
trying
man.
to hide it is not any better
But
than just
that's
being
what
like, listen,
you're
I'm fucking hoes.
saying is going on. Like when you say people are trying, like again, again. You know, I'm telling people, get me the information and I'll do it. Because if something is really like again, what it is I'm making a son like even MOT. To be fair, the MOT tried to come at me, and I don't even like to put his name out there because I ain't trying to deal with that. MOT doesn't talk about traveling like that at all. So it's like it's all so really it's again that's what I'm saying. So and this is why this is important to me because what happens is people weaponize that like the women and they say every nigga that does it there's something wrong with him and
I'm not saying
I'm
MOT
let
not
me
is a
saying that's
traveler.
you. But that's how people do it. Every nigga's a trick because we can't really break down who is, who ain't, what they doing, what they not doing, what's being said, what videos being said, how they exposed. So it becomes everywhere and it's like blah. Like Castro said, he thought you said some of the stuff you said was tricky. I don't know what context that is. So I just assume because Donnie said, nigga, you a trick.
Well,
Because that's
yeah.
how it
And I
goes.
mean, and that's at the end of the day, like it shouldn't matter. Because my thing is, you're on a trip, you are enjoying yourself. This is your experience. So the views of others on whether what you're doing or not is tricking. That's why I said it shouldn't really
But
matter.
there's
But
money in
just be
YouTube
honest.
though, so that actually can affect your money now. Like so, they and see. So people, I get what you're saying. You're saying this from
If you
some.
can take
You're
the
saying
stigma out of the trick, motherfuckers will come up multimillionaires. I just don't see a problem with it. If you want to trick,
again,
do what the fuck
that's
you want to
your
do.
problem. I'm telling you, as somebody that's a content creator. So how many content? I got a question for you, and I'm not even saying that dudes are out here tricking and then lying about it. But let's say that is what it is. How many content creators got to body their channels and and basically sacrifice their ability to make content on YouTube for that to happen? Because I can tell you, it's gonna be a lot. Because you got niggas that they
Why
would
does
make.
it have to be a body your channel to say I'm paying for pussy?
I'll give you a perfect example. You do that, nigga like Jappa come in with his influence. That's a trick ass nigga. He a lame ass nigga, bitch ass nigga, and all of that. Everybody start repeating that. You're not got to unless you're already big. You're done on YouTube. But
So
every time you come
are
back,
you saying that
unless
black
if
men
you're
are not smart enough to be like, listen, Jab is saying what the fuck he's saying?
that is what I'm saying. You would have to go get a white
Then we
audience.
have a bigger problem.
If you
That's what that
if
sound
you
like to
are
me.
somebody, let me tell you something. If somebody were to come to me and say, I want to talk about tricking on my channel, I would tell them, then you don't want a black audience. You don't want you want a mix, you want a diverse audience, and then the black man is gonna fuck with you, will fuck with you, but you better damn not try to build a black audience first. You be a stupid motherfucker. Because you basically are just wasting time and money. That's exactly what I tell them. And when they
Yeah,
would try it and they came back to me, I'd say, so say it with me. Say, I am a stupid motherfucker.
yeah, and then so we have a larger problem, like Ant said, we have a larger problem than what the conversation of
And
tricking.
that
Because
is,
if y'all don't feel like y'all can go out and go trick on your own and do your thing, that's a problem, and that's unfortunate. But that is a problem. If you don't feel like you can go out here and live your true life, that is a
And
fucking
spend
this is
your
problem.
why I'm
hard-earned money
asking
how
you, do
you
you
want to
know the
spend it.
culture you're
How is
in?
that okay?
You say that as if, like, are we, so we're all African Americans, right? Just to be
Mm-hmm.
clear.
Yep.
Okay. You're New York, Chicago, I don't know, like y'all don't need to disclose where you are, but I'm just saying, like, you say that as if, well, man, that's just a real problem. I mean, dude, it's like, is it a problem? It is what it is. Like, I wish I would make a social movement, oh man, we need to be able to live my truth and be a trick out in the open. Because there's degrees to tricking in the first place. A lot of
And
niggas
that's what
trick
I was
with
just about
extra
to say.
steps. A lot of niggas, they sit there and buy cars and clothes and a whole bunch of shit they don't need that they can't afford because that's what attracts a bitch. To me, that's tricking with extra steps. Because I know if niggas could just go straight to the pussy on some masculine, I got a white tee or a wife beater type shit and get the bitches they want, they would do that.
Mm-hmm. And I agree with you as far as there's levels to it, and that's why I said I think we have a bigger problem because when we say tricking, I think of it as a blanket statement. Tricking can be transactional sex. I'm giving you money so that I can sleep with you. Tricking can be you're doing something for me, so I'm doing something for you. We're both benefiting from it, or it can be your example. I'm buying these things to look a certain way so that I can attract these kind of women. In my opinion, I feel like all of those ways may fall under tricking, but at the end of the day, it's what you are comfortable with. And if we can't accept what we're comfortable with and bust our ass to work to spend our money how we want to spend it without being ridiculed online, I think that's a problem.
Well, I
You
mean,
don't think that's a
that's
problem?
not a problem. I look, culture is what I talk about on my channel. Like, we live in a gynocracy, and a gynocracy is not just the women, it's the cultural programming that the black men buy into. This is a perfect example of one of these things. Like, I was talking about tricking on my channel today, actually. I was talking about how tricking is not safe, not in the United States, because when you're dealing with desperate women that have been acculturated with the advertising like we have in the United States, which is like the belly of the beast, you're putting women know where you live. They know your patterns because you're getting too familiar with these women. Because niggas tend to want to deal with just a couple of women if they do that. I'm like, this y'all think tricking's gonna be at an all-time low. That may be true, but you're also dealing with a different type of chick because if you got it and they don't, these chicks may know goon. So I put that perspective out. That's what I'm saying. Like, what you're talking about as far as putting it out there, I put it out there because I ain't really got an angle. So I know what you're talking about. So if y'all share with me any of this stuff, I'm not gonna say, oh, I got it from this person. I'm gonna be like, look at this, look at what I found. And so I get what you're saying. But when a lot of people, I don't know the channels y'all are listening to, so I can't really say that like you all like I ain't gonna say you don't hear what you hear. I'm just saying I want to hear it too. And if people can share me, I'm not y'all. If people can give me a link when in the email, and this is really a fire thing in anybody. This ain't really y'all on the panel because Donnie is in my Telegram, so I know Donnie can. Yeah, I'll put the shit out there, because I want traveling to be the image of black men traveling to be a good one. And yes, I do believe black men should travel even if pussy's not involved, because the biggest reason I think black men, I've said this before, the biggest reason I think black men should travel is I think black men seeing more coming out of the American bubble will actually, give them a certain type of motivation that they might not have had. And that's completely divorced from the women.
Agreed. Big
Because that
time.
was
I
my
agree with that.
experience. That was my experience. I went because
Same.
I worked in the call center industry, and we had to set up call centers overseas. I've been in the DR because of the call centers. Now, so yeah, and you even on the tricking front, like paying for a whole bunch of paying for some chicks to saying, hey, I got a boat. You throwing some dollars out there to get them on the boat, whether they do something or not. There's degrees to it, and people, and the thing is, dudes run that shit through their own gynocentric mentality of wanting validation from women. So a lot of black men don't like they're afraid of economics, so they don't want money to be a factor in how you get chose. What they want is you're chose off the swag and basically masculine presence, because they know they have an advantage in that way, because they are reflective of what's chosen in the culture. Now, these are the same black men that these chicks can't stand and keep saying is destroying them in the long run, but this is what gets picked. So, and another thing too is if dudes leave, this is why a lot of people, and this ain't y'all, but this is why y'all are coming with different arguments. But a lot of people don't like people talking about dudes going overseas, is because that's resources going to be leaving in the community, even if that's dudes that were not chosen in the United States. So they want you to stay. I know this isn't YouTube, this isn't at y'all, but if they say that, then so it's always got to be, well, these niggas are doing this or doing that. They're taking advantage of young women, which I know y'all are not saying either. But this is what they will use what y'all are saying as a way to say, see, there's even black being holding them accountable. I'm not saying you shouldn't say it at all. Not saying that, just saying y'all should keep that in mind. And that's why I want to really solve the damn problem, and be pointed in the right direction. Who's doing this? Now, that chocolate dude, I don't know who he is. I'm about to go through his videos, just because that's a channel I ain't seen before. So I appreciate that. And if I see that shit, like I'm already seeing the tattoos you talking about, I'm like, man, I need some body on my Asian. I'm sorry, but
Yeah, she
that's what he
was
Same.
gonna
likes.
say she ain't got no body at all.
But if that's what he
Same.
likes, I'm not here to judge him, because a lot of brothers, they like, it's either that or fucking deal with a bitch talking shit about how you ain't shit. I mean, it's either that or you dating Tina, you married to Tina Knowles, who won't even take your last name, but she gonna check you in front of every fucking body. So you gonna
But
deal with that, or you gonna deal with a chick like what you dealing with? Yeah,
so let me say this: for the black community, there should be no such thing as an incel because sex is too easy to get. Right? I don't. In our community, sex is entirely too fucking. You can slip and fall into some pussy. So if a nigga is a black man in the black community, he's an incel. He's really voluntarily celibate, or he's just consistently talking himself out of pussy.
Exactly. And we know black men are willing, as a group, are willing to go down. What makes white men more incels is white men generally have standards because of their entitled. So I would argue 90% of white incels, we'll say 80, we'll say 75% of incels could be eliminated if they were willing to date black women. Because a lot of black women would deal with.
Ooh.
I'm not saying that to diss
Ooh.
black,
He
but
hit
I'm
him
not
with
saying that to diss
hit
black
the
women.
hook
Is that not
early.
true? Do y'all
I'm
not
not gonna
agree?
fight you. It's funny as fuck, but I'm not gonna fight you.
I mean, you can see
Ouch.
with who it ain't even an ouch. We know the white, like David Carroll, rest in peace, said that white complexion covers a multitude of deficiencies. We know the white ice is colder. We know, I mean, look at Sherry Shepherd and who she with. Say what you want to about Sherry Shepherd. Sherry Shepherd is an electrical engineer that graduated out of a very good school. And the truth, and but y'all, but she, not Sherry Shepherd. What's the other chick? The chick that's on The View, the big chick that she can't stand all the smaller ones. You know what I'm talking about. She got a white dude that's like a painter. I mean, Tarana Burke, the chick that created Black Lives Matter.
You talking about Lonnie Love?
Lonnie Love. She got a better dude than Lonnie Love. That should tell you every. So my point is that they're willing to date down if they can if they can get white. That's not even like debatable to me. But I hear what y'all saying. But it's not really a say an ouch thing. It's a matter of fact. Think about it. Keratin had Veganator on there that one time. That's where all them crying memes come from with Keratin with the ugly cry. And the Veganator, it's like the fact that somebody like Keratin, who's a Valley girl from California, comes from a decent family, actually was married to a white man that actually ended up making more than her. The fact that she thought that that was the thing to do, that tells you a lot. But anyway.
Yeah, but one thing is I think that's why there's a stigma. White men were willing to come over and trick and spend money on the black one we wasn't even looking at. So there's a whole lot of stigma on that, and then you got pimping that kind of evolved from the slavery and all that shit because these white men, we call them honkies, came from that whole space and dynamic. So when a black man is like, "Why are you tricking on some shit, some bitches we throw away?" That's really where the narrative comes from. But now, the reality is the world has become a whole lot more open, and motherfuckers will go out to different countries and do some shit. But if our own women are willing to pay for some shit, or willing to fuck you for the fee, they're the same.
Yeah, and this is where
the
dirty feet comes in, because you got dudes on some 8Os, not 8O shit calling women dirty. Like every black chick is just destitute. And I'm like, nigga, do you understand the women that's here right now? The women that's on some, half of them got STDs. Like what are you talking about? Like, so it becomes that bullshit, and I know what it is. And again, I'm just laying it out because that's another thing I'm gonna do is map out, because I'm putting together a list. I was actually doing that when I came up here. And so I'm gonna go through them other channels, because that Zoom the Thailand dude I haven't really watched, and I'm gonna watch him. I'm gonna watch the chocolate dude, because Zoom the Thailand got 10-12 minute videos, so I can zoom through those real quick. The chocolate dude, yeah. And a lot of these dudes, personally, I think there needs to be a lot more travel channels. I think there needs to be a lot more dudes on the ground sharing their experiences. So that chocolate man thing is good. I know there was a channel of black dudes in Japan. We need more on the ground things. Now, if dudes are out here, like, I don't get that people are observing, because we don't have enough people getting passports. And it's like, oh, I'm getting a passport because he said it'd be great. And to be fair to you, Donnie, oHes has kind of said some of the similar things that you've said. But that's why I think it's important to actually create these networks on the ground, because when niggas go to these places and they go on their own and they don't know where to go, then they don't really know what they don't know. And now you're dealing with a black man, even if he's social outside the United States, he's out of his element. So a lot of these niggas, they go to the tourist areas, and the tourist area is going to operate a certain type of way. In fact, I need to go check out Castro's world too, to see what he's on, for real. So these are channels that I always up are looking in new channels, but I can tell you that the problem, it makes it look worse, the problem bigger than what it is. It becomes this, well, you know what, all these niggas, they grifting and they lying. Most of these niggas ain't even selling products. They're not even selling products and services. They're not selling books. They're not selling consultations. They're not selling shit. They're communicating their own experience, and they may get accents out of it. A lot of them don't. So it becomes this thing where shit gets used as a weapon. But I know I've talked a lot, but whatever. This is the type of topic that I don't like. These topics. This is why I stopped fucking with the breakdown, to keep it real, because it's too much trying to hold us fucking accountable without them wanting the backlash of what happens when you do that shit. These are not the type of things I think women in the space should be talking about. They claim to be in the space, but that's just me.
Well, I got a super chat from Captain Cisco. I think he made a mistake in the super chat because he offered clarity. He said, I meant to say, Edward, tell them about those big booty Filipino you saw in the Philippines.
I mean, Filipino women have a different shape, but I wouldn't a good shape, but I wouldn't say. I mean, they have a quote unquote big booty. I mean, they're not like black. I mean, they're mixed with Hispanic and Asian and like the native, not black and the native. So keep that in mind. There are a couple of them that you could argue got a fat ass, but what black men would like about them is black men like them short, shapely type women. Them women are like 5'1", 5'2", ass, titties, a Coke bottle shape. but on the thinner side, but to a cold bottle, a lot of tall niggas like that. So yeah, you would like that. But at the same time, I haven't been in a while. But yeah, and then they can get dark. They can get darker, not as dark as ties. You've seen ties get, but they can get dark. So yeah, y'all like that blazing, you would like that. The problem with the Philippines is it costs too much to get there. And so if you're not gonna stay there for a while, there's no point.
Okay. Also, I know this is off topic, but I wanted to highlight K Dot's comment. He directed it toward me. He said, "Black men being brutally honest. Black women divestors are planning on marching in Washington D.C. for black femicide, going against black men to get Joe Biden's attention. They're gonna march in August 27th. Yeah, I heard of it because Nyla's promoting it. I know that's a little bit of name dropping, but yeah, she's promoting it. And one piece of advice I do have for that particular content creator is please, please stop preying on the emotions of weak people who have been hurt. Because not only is this trauma bonding, you can be putting yourself in a very dangerous situation. But as far as the whole black femicide thing, I don't believe in it. I think it's crap. I think it's nonsense. And it's like a BW telling you, I only care if a BW dies based on the shit that she did to herself. Most of those women did most of those women were in horrible relationships or had failing health.
I
And
hope. No, go ahead. My bad.
go ahead. I
I
mean,
hope I hope they do it. I hope they go there. I hope they do it. I hope it's televised because that's only going to help what we're doing. Because the biggest friction resistance we have with a lot of dudes and the black men that's on the ground is they don't understand like how serious a lot of this stuff is. They think it's just on YouTube. So I would definitely love
well,
to
well,
cover it.
definitely a couple of content creators that's pushing. Hey, don't pay attention to what they're saying. Take it with a grain of salt. They're women. They're gonna say stuff like that. My whole take on that kind of thing is they're full grown ass adults that that should be accountable for the things that they're saying. And I believe that men especially should stop telling women this. Stop telling them just because they're women that you expect this from them and they can do X, Y, and Z. That's just like saying that crazy girls got the good pussy because then girls are just gonna be crazy automatically and think that's gonna get them a man because they believe I got good pussy. That the
Yeah,
shit. Go ahead.
niggas like that are afraid of women. And I asked them, so you mean a woman, anything a woman does is basically you can charge it to. So if a woman takes your baby and throws it out the fucking window, and here's the thing, people say that's extreme, but you have things that other content creators like Pink Less and Jada Black and others have covered of women killing their sons, killing their daughters, and you just gonna say, they're just crazy. Well, it's so when is a woman, and then I ask a dude, when is a woman accountable? Give me that. Give me an example of when a woman is accountable. And if them niggas can't really come up with an answer, then I already know what it is. That's just some shit they say, but they don't really believe in accountability. They don't. They use that as a thing to say that nobody challenges it. So yeah, those dudes, when dudes do that, they just expose themselves. All they're doing is pandering to women. They're hustling.
Yeah, and I've covered women killing their children on here, and I didn't do it just to say that hey, I told you these bitches are like that. I ain't do it for that. I did it because it was newsworthy,
Yeah.
and it's not something that doesn't exist. It's like when I bring these conversations up to regular people, they just believe I'm cherry picking. Oh, you just look for you went and look for that. And I know you probably experienced this before too. People saying that, um, you just went and looked for that. That's not really going on. And I'm like, dude, you're in denial.
And that's
Period.
why, women doing it. Shout out to Shay Sade. I know I ain't trying to name drop, but this is in a positive way. Because if I would like the break. If the break, like a lot of how Shay Sade and Chantel Simone does it, it's kind of like what I like to see they stuff aimed at. But that's just me. That's my opinion. That's all it is. They have their channel. They can do what they want. But Shay Sade does that. Pink Book does that. And so now you can't say that to another woman, but they get heat, so a lot of that, if the women do it, it carries more weight, and certain ones are really good at reporting things, like giving the who, what, when, where, why, and kind of keeping it at that, and then bringing the commentary later. But yeah, you got a lot of. I did a video on that, Kev. There's a lot of dudes, and there's a lot of people in denial. There's dudes are in absolute denial, and to be honest, and then so I ask them, why are you here? Why are you here? Are you here to try to police what we do because you're in that much of denial? Because then I need you to show me this community. Because niggas act like they live in Candyland, like they live in the beautiful community. It's just motherfuckers on YouTube just making shit up. I got niggas that are from Baltimore trying to tell me this shit don't go down. I'm like, nigga, you're in one of the worst cities. That like what? You're in Baltimore and you act like, man.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about dudes like that. They got a bunch of, and I really hate to say these two words together, but it's the truth, and I'm damn close to this. They got a bunch of old niggas always in their ears telling them this crap. Like I get an example. I went in a Popeyes the other day to get a sandwich, and I heard some old dude talking to his young teenage nephew, grandson, or something, telling him about basically telling him about women, and basically he was telling the guy to submit. Hey man, don't be saying nothing. Don't do nothing. Let them do what they want to do. Blah blah blah. And then you got to do this, this, and that, and other. I turn and look at that dude. I say, mm-mm. This is why the younger generation is mad at the older generation, amongst
Yeah.
other things. Shitty ass advice.
Yeah, that niggas pop up, old niggas pop up like fucking, they pop up in the barbershop like magic. Niggas saying they got problems with they baby mom, be like, man, you need to take care of your responsibility. Where that nigga come from? Nah, please, when dudes say stupid shit like that, because that's what it is. They submit. I mean, they submit to the white men. A lot of dudes will act like they don't submit to white men, but they submit to black women. So that's what that is. And so my thing is, there's a lot of that going on. So again. I don't know if Donnie just had to get off. I hope I didn't. This nigga won't shut the fuck up.
No. Donnie just had to drop off. Donnie doesn't. He stands on whatever he says. I mean,
Oh
I
yeah,
get.
no, it's cool. No, I know that's not what it is. I mean, he's in the Telegram, so I don't let people in the Telegram that ain't cool. That's why it's only 15 of y'all in here.
Yeah.
But shout out to him and Celebrity. I saw some of that stuff. I mean, going on. That was. I'm like,
Celebrity. She's a good one. She's
see,
a
black
fan.
women don't like when that black female bullshit gets thrown at you, and that flaming torch gets thrown at you back. It don't feel good, does it? It don't
Not at
feel
all.
good.
Not at all.
That chick was like, wow, like, yeah, welcome to
And
black man,
let me say that. Let me say this here
welcome
about.
to Earth.
Yeah. Let me say this here about Celebrity D, because I know we've had kind of an infiltration of pick me's. Number one, I don't see how she can be a pick me because she's already married. And number two, she's been on this shit for a while. So what you're getting is something that my people like myself and Donnie have been looking at for years.
Oh no,
So
she's cool. She cussed me out the first time I met her, but we were cool. Being right, real,
yeah, it
we
was on
ironed
this
it out.
show. It was on
Yeah,
this.
so I mean, but that happens with a lot of folks. That's not nothing special. I mean, if y'all wanna what they call it, pick me metal detector to check for impurities, shit, have her. Well, y'all should add her to the folks, what they call it, the folks being black. Nah, that's your channel. God, I forgot the fuck name this shit
Talk
is.
about the habitual alliance.
Yeah, she add her in there, and then have her do interviews, pick me's, and see if she can catch their ass off guard. It's like when you go to the you go in the first 48 and you get good cop, bad cop. I think she make a good bad cop. She get louder than with them, see what they do, see if she can bring the ratchet out of them.
Man, she
Yo, wow.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
She got so much content on the way, it's ridiculous. Like, for real.
A chick checking the shit out of another chick, shit. Yeah, that's a 10,000, 15,000 sub channel instantly with dudes.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Dollar Wash. I see you
I
down
don't
there.
want to show my face. Well, Jessica X don't have to. Like, a lot of them niggas like them brown
Man,
eyes with the mask.
that shit's a goalpost when they tell people to show their face. That, to me, when a person says that, they officially can't handle the conversation that's coming at them.
Yeah.
So they gotta find some way to try to, to move the goalpost somewhere else so they can regain the advantage. And really, still, if you're not that intellectual or that articulate, you're not going to gain ground in the conversation, whether the person shows their face or not. And it's so stupid because we've been listening to radio for years and we haven't been requiring people to show their face. Now, I showed my
Some of
face a
these
few.
niggas don't even know what Tom Joyner looks like.
They showed up, and it's like he smiled too much for me.
Don't blame me for Googling it.
But yeah, it's like all that is a goalpost move. People just trying to basically fuck with your life, and especially us in this community and our group of people, ADOS. Now, when we hear something we don't like, we try to move the goalpost somewhere else, and that shit's stupid.
Yeah.
But Donnie, I see that you're back. What up?
Yeah, my shit died. But what's up?
No, yeah, I mean, I know you jumping in and out, but I know how it is with the phone. I'm gonna say this with Castro's World. If y'all tell Donnie, tell him to make some content, cause I'll share his shit. I definitely would share. I see, his subscriber count, and you get a little.
He's doing. So my thing was, I convinced him to travel abroad. And he's got one of those digital nomad type jobs where he can go anywhere. I'm like, nigga, go with a rent's $300 a month. Bye, see you later, nigga. And he did it. So now he's on that wave.
And as far as him talking about the stuff that he says is important to him, I mean, if there's a need in the when I say the space, I mean the niche in general, regardless of the sectors that promotes. You subscribe. I'm sharing the video talk about the mistakes I made in Thailand. Because I'm not against people saying that. I'm not against people talking about mistakes, giving it the real. And I mean, you're saying that people need to talk about tricking more. I'm saying, well, okay, fine, but people need to talk about the other stuff more too. And then they may say, hey, man, this dude is giving this. I want to see more of this. And then people will make that content. I do see some of the folks making that content, but if you're trying to get a more of a change,
just tricking. It's all the missteps you can make in gym. But yeah.
No, I know, and I shared it, but yeah. So anyway, did y'all see Batman yet?
Yes,
best Batman ever, nigga.
I'm still thinking like between that and the Dark Knight, but
yeah, that's the debate right there. Like,
listen, that nigga had a magical flower. Robert Pattinson was out here fucking black bitches.
Yeah, and I'm proud of Zoe Kravitz. She did a great job. This might be her breakout role because there was an article where she was talking about how they didn't let her do Back to Dark Knight Rise. They said she was too urban, which is like no, like, man, I ain't saying Nolan Ray, but like that's not the type of Catwoman he wanted. And honestly, I don't think she would have fit. She would have fit because Zoe Kravitz would have been too young. And that Bruce Wayne was supposed to be older, and that actor is older, so it just wouldn't have fit. It just wouldn't have fit, and it wouldn't have fit the aesthetic that they're. I mean, I know you had Lucius Fox, but he's been black always, so you get it. So I see why they didn't do that, but yeah, it worked out. It worked out. Zoe Kravitz did a really good job. I mean, they all did a really good job, but I think she did a really good job in really portraying that. And yeah, so it was good. It was a good movie. I mean, I didn't feel it being 3 hours. So anyway, that's another thing we need to start promoting is this Black Dimension shit between you and artists and MC, because we need to start doing more of a geekdom sector. And I'm all for channels that already are doing that versus because I can't create it. I'm not gonna create everything. I'm trying to focus on what I'm focused on. So between you and Artisan, because Artisan only does his thing on Sunday. So yeah, we need, because I know people are interested in that content, especially when it meets like black folks and black situations. Like I know a lot of people have been talking about the replace T'Challa thing, but anyway, I don't want to take it off topic, but
well, here's the thing: we've already covered replace T'Challa on that channel straight. Now that you mention it, and we're even though like you say, Artisan does the kind of the same thing. Artisan does like 2-3 hour broadcasts. We're more into the shorter form videos.
No, y'all stuff can definitely work together. Yeah, like not as far as it needs to be close, but it's a lot.
Yeah, there was also a suggestion BGS made. Hook up with Artisan. People like that. Promote the channel.
That's not necessary.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I understand that because the dynamic myself, Roger, Donnie has. We feel like we're strong enough to make that channel move. And we talk about a lot of things that aren't necessarily regular manosphere community ADOS type stuff. We dive into the entertainment world, and we make it interesting. We're not going to sugarcoat it. We don't go with the mainstream narrative on what these things are. We actually call these things for what it really is, and and that's my goal. My immediate goal really is to go ahead and just get it to 500 subs so we can open up that community tab, and I believe things will take off from there. But Village Arsonist, what's going on? I see you down there. Hybrid Catastrophic Impact X83rd Power is also down there. 0918, thanks for coming by. Uh, Let me see. K Dot, let me read this. K Dot's typing now. He said, Black being brutally honest. Redbone B Dub said on her Twitter page, when a nigga you do is like, when a nigga you do like is touching you, it feels like a roach. And a lot of black women and non-black people were laughing at that. Oh, oh, when a nigga you don't like is touching you, it feels like a roach. Why would she let somebody that doesn't like her touch her anyway? I mean, a lot of these bullshit things these females say, they're just trying to grab attention any way they can get,
Yeah.
positive or negative. But if we as black men said that shit, then this is what I want people to keep in mind. If we said that shit in the same vein, we'll be getting called COONs, self-haters, sellouts.
That's not true.
We hate our moms, the whole goddamn nine. It's just
No, what I was saying with you. Ron said most black men are virgins, Ed. Black men have the least sex out of all of the groups. That's a lie because black men will bottom feed more than the other groups. So no, that's absolutely not true.
And 0918 said not part of the DCEU. I'm sure he was referring to the Batman.
No, it's not. I mean, they've been trying to turn the page.
Well, I believe like when me and Donnie have discussed this, we think that the Flashpoint movie is probably going to fix all that. Since
I don't know.
Like since Batfleck is gone, then there's no talk of Henry Cavill returning to Superman, which I believe is a huge mistake.
I do too.
Yeah, like Cavill is like he has to look, has to build. He's perfect for Superman. Batfleck. I mean, I could probably, even though Zack Snyder's Justice League corrected a lot of DCEU shit. Like if they had went the Snyderverse direction, it'll be a different conversation. But so many things have happened since then. The thing with Ray Fisher, then you got the whole thing with Jason Momoa possibly suing Amber Heard if the second
it literally, quite literally has to be a flashpoint in order to correct all the bullshit because Ray Fisher's not coming back.
No, yeah, and the thing is, yeah, I don't know how that was gonna work because I like the Cyborg, even though he's not really Cyborg, in that TV show on HBO Max with what they're doing there. There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot to like. I mean, Amber, I actually like Amber Heard as far as the look, but Amber Heard has been wild. Now, see, the problem is they don't really want to chin check a chick because they know they're gonna have to deal with all these chicks wanting to just go to bat for her. But yeah, but most black men are not virgins, dude. Like the black men will fuck chicks. The black men will fuck chicks of other races that other dudes won't even touch. So and they're more willing to do that. So this idea that we get the least sex out of that's not true. I don't know where you got that from, but yeah, it's a lot of stuff. I mean, at the end, like I said, Edward Lilly sounds like one of my best friends. Yeah. So anyway, it's it is what it is. It's a lot of stuff to talk about. But people always complain about the women thing. It really annoys me because when I share like your stuff or I share like other stuff that's of other stuff or sports, whatever, niggas are nowhere to be found. And it's like, where are y'all at? Even whether it's business, geekdom, it's like, where are y'all? Where are y'all, man? If y'all want to hear different stuff, hear different stuff. Or another thing we need to do is get good at putting lists together of the type of content people want. So if people like do a Telegram or some kind of something, not Facebook group because that stuff doesn't work. Facebook would be too stupid. People that want geekdom content, so you can kind of aggregate people that's putting out that type of content in the space. You don't have to be a content creator to do that, but people don't want to.
Let me go ahead and tell you something real quick. Black men in any space as a collective are always going to face these challenges and these pitfalls. Me having a group that is 25K. You know, at our
Yeah.
height, we were at 15, 16, 17K, and we were moving. We're always going to have those challenges. People are going to try to stick shit on us that ain't even true. Like the whole all we do is bash black women 24/7, 360. I've heard that. I've heard that said about me. Oh, y'all, you be on here on Facebook 24/7 bashing black women. And I'm like, that's fucking impossible. Number one, nobody does anything 24/7. Period. You know, that's like me. That's like people telling me I take a shit 24/7. Like, shut the fuck up. But that like the group really is reduced now to a few political posts and people trying to troll, but people aren't active enough, so it's really failing. It's been reduced to that, and I do kind of resent that because there is so much thing. There was so much I could have did within a Facebook group with over 20K people in it. There was so much I could have done, and and I really wanted to use it as a networking piece. Now my biggest resentment is I can't do shit with the group because of bad stigmas. And the one thing about the space that that I've always said was, and I was really big on like defending the space at one point. Like now I'm at the place where we're all grown men. If we really want this space to shine, we're going to continue to do the work that we're always doing. But you know, my thing was I've seen what happened to black male spaces because I had one that could have had a tremendous opportunity, but what happened was too many butthurt Negroes. Too many butthurt. We don't like the truth. We don't want to fix. We don't want to fix things. We don't want things to get better. The thing is, we just go for the horrible crap, and it's just like if they wanted to see, like what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, if they wanted to see this space do more positive things, they'll go to the channel saying more positive stuff. What it is at the end of the day is niggas love drama
Yeah.
and niggas hate accountability. That's what it is. Now, I mean, as far as black men, accountability is forced on us every day, even for the things that we don't do. Accountability is forced on us. So the accountability piece, don't read when I say niggas don't like accountability, but really we don't. We don't like accountability. Uh, uh, I take accountability for the things I did. Like I don't want to take accountability for the things that these stupid niggas out here do. And I don't want to take accountability for women who decide that, hey, you know what? I'm going to be independent from this motherfucking group of people. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want to do. But
Oh
then when
my
they get in
God.
trouble, and then when they get in trouble, here they come like, uh, this black man fault. What's wrong with black men? Why ain't black men protected us and all this other crap? That's why I said what I said about black femicide. I mean, like, shit, this say you dated the wrong motherfucker. Every time that brothers like us tried to warn y'all to stay away from the toxic dudes, what did y'all say to us? Y'all just mad because y'all ain't getting no pussy. You trying to pussy police and all this other crap. So I'm like, have at it. But don't come back to me months later talking about some, well, why these black men killing us? No, it's your damn boyfriend killing you. Is the niggas you fuck with. Is the other nigga that you tried to play to get with another dude that's killing you. That has nothing to do with me because I'm telling your ass to stay away from the toxic types. But we as black men in black male spaces, we're gonna be made responsible for all the bullshit. Period. And it's like whether we're responsible for that bullshit or not. And I really hate to see it. So that's what I believe we're facing. Not to say anything against anyone, but I believe that's what we're facing when we blackmail when we enter these blackmail spaces. If somebody becomes like, and I said it the other night, if somebody becomes really popular, like a Tommy Sotomayor, all of a sudden everybody want to be Tommy. If Kevin Samuels says something controversial, all of a sudden everybody want to be Kevin Samuels. It's never is never going to change. We have to work the hardest in the space or in Black YouTube or on our individual YouTube channels to change this narrative. We got to work the hardest to do that because everybody else is going to keep it in fuck land and not care about whether we're seeing good shit or bad shit. And that's just the reality of
Yeah,
it.
no,
So,
you're right.
my,
Um,
go ahead, go ahead.
no, it's you're absolutely right, and that's why a lot of the stuff you kind of, you got to put your head down and just keep it moving, keep it focused, and not like worry about a lot of the stuff because a lot of it is like unnecessary distractions, and then you snap your finger, and then the whole year goes by because shit is real out here. I mean, gas. I mean, I heard Donnie say what he said about gas. Like I said, this shit gas is like $7 in California. I mean, I can only imagine truck drivers, Uber drivers, DoorDash. That shit raises everything, like food, like that shit's crazy, But a lot of people they see this as like a reality show escape, and it is what it is.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I just had a truck driver as one of my Facebook friends post that it took $700 for him to fill up. And yeah, he was all about let's go Brandon. Shit, I know what it feel like because I was at the gas pump this morning. Like every time the dollar go up, but the gallons when I'd be like, let's go Brandon, let's go like
and then Biden talk about you gonna do something about gas. He basically said, "What's gonna happen with gas? It's gonna go up." Blame Putin. Now I will say this: Jack Kemp, the governor of Georgia, he suspended the the gas tax, the state tax, was probably knocked that shit down like 20 something cent. I mean, that shit don't matter now. At this point, that ain't nothing. I mean, you getting to the point where niggas like fuck it. Now, you niggas with them, y'all was tricking on them luxury cars because y'all could get you them bitches and y'all could barely afford them. I know y'all feeling that shit. If you got like a 8 year BMW 740, nigga, I know you. Or you got like a 8 7 year Jaguar. I know you feeling that shit.
Nigga, I have a car that's a 350 big, small block engine. You know who's feeling it right now? Me. I'm on, I'm on this motherfucker. My shit is carbureted. Do you know how I feel right now?
Niggas are feeling that you shit. So yeah, nah. I mean, everybody's feeling it, but yeah, man, it's crazy, and you don't know, like, because a lot of this is you don't know if it's the Putin shit, if it's the fucking stimulus check with the inflation shit. Motherfuckers don't try to don't even talk about the real estate market because if you renting and you ain't already got a house, because a lot of these renters like nigga, I'm getting this money back from last year. Y'all thought y'all wasn't go pay. Oh, y'all go pay. Y'all just don't know it, or y'all not gonna be here. I mean, it's
uh,
because then and it was a lot of black people that own real estate that got fucked with that. So it's boy, 2003 gonna be the year. Yeah.
23.
2023.
That
Hey,
yeah, shit. Yeah.
yeah,
Whew.
let me comment on 0918's comment. He said they want to end gas engines. Let me tell you something. They're gonna sell it that way because not too long ago they was talking about putting an extra tax on people who use gas burning vehicles. Like, and
Yep.
they was gonna tax us by the mile. And all of this is coming out of the Biden administration. Like,
I mean, they
people
won't be there.
say what?
They won't be there. I mean, they're not gonna live to see it as far as politically. I
Yeah,
mean, they're gonna get rid of all of them. That's what they trying to sell it as. But the reality is, if that was true, then where are you all at get incentivizing the auto industry and producing more affordable electric powered vehicles? Where are you on talking about in these infrastructure bills, building out the infrastructure and at least starting in certain cities and stuff so you can have that? Oh, nobody was talking about that? Yeah. So I mean, I
Well,
feel the Democrats are gonna get fucked so
the
bad.
reality with a gas engine is you have gas engines out here that will run off of French fry oil from McDonald's XYZ, right? So if you have a car that'll run off of the oil from a fucking deep fryer, you can make these gas engines go a lot farther than they can. They don't do that because they're in conjunction with the gas companies in order to get your dollar. So it'll come a time to where, yeah, they'll probably tax you for the mileage that you drive on these cars, but they'll be able to say, oh, we've magically perfected the gas engine and it'll go a lot farther on what you pay. But as it stands now, it's too profitable. So this is why they're taxing you.
and
You can make a car go pretty lean and drive pretty far. They just don't want to do that.
Yeah, because the oil industry has a lot of lobbying dollars, and I'm about to hop off, but I will say to end, as far as what I'm on this, the original topic we were talking about, one of the solutions to that, and this is something I've talked about with other concerns that people have brought up is what I can't do this now because I want to build my channel up. I really don't want to be doing all this shit, and then I want to build my channel up. But and no, it ain't a certain group. It's a lot of black men to be fucking like god awful bitches and trying to call that game. Like let's just. But anyway, I want to start running webinars, and what I'll probably do is put together a website or a web page because I actually got this funnel builder I'm playing with, and this really good. And I want to put together like some webinars where you can bring. It don't have to be. It have like a special guest and then a lot of noble people like you, Donnie. It has a lot of experience traveling and maybe some other stuff. And then these conversations could be brought up. Like people know this is what's going to be discussed and blah blah blah. And then you can have a way of kind of like low key. I'll have a way of promoting it because that's what I'm talking about with the list. I want to build like a Telegram or whatever, something
I'm
something
all
that
for it. I got to go real quick. My brother's calling me. Let me call you back. He might be calling
okay.
for emergency.
Okay. Yeah. So that way these conversations could be had. And this is something that, it'll be had on YouTube, but it could also be had like on its own hosted page, or it could be hosted in and of itself. And this is something where we could kind of aggregate like a whole people. So maybe we can get like 1,000 people on it because everybody's promote it. Because if you're a channel that's specific in that, you can kind of low key get your channel promoted and stuff. And so you can kind of put together these kind of webinar calls. I don't know how it'd be done if there's a financial thing with it. I don't know. But that would be a way of kind of getting some stuff that may otherwise might not get talked about with just generating traffic as far as, YouTube. This is a way to kind of get those concerns addressed. You can make an event of it, even with the thing with the T'Challa thing. And you try to make an event with it and blow it up. So that's something that's definitely coming in. Give me maybe till like the latter end of the latter part of the year, the latter half of the year. But yeah, because I think that's something that'll be really, really cool. Because it'll be an event that's not necessarily just located to just YouTube. It'd be like a link that I could promote, and then I'll put up like graphics for certain. I'm talking about this would be anything. So this would be something I might promote for like maybe a week or two. It wouldn't be something that I just throw up there and then we do it. Because I really want to get people signed up, people like that's gonna be there, get it, like make an event out of it.
Oh yeah, I agree. And can you hear me? Oh yeah, I'm on.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. And I'm with promoting, and I'm also with shifting the narrative to from a narrow-minded narrative to a more widespread narrative. And I do believe within the space and on Black YouTube and on our individual channels, we can do enough to impact that narrative and let them know that we're about more than what the haters say, and the naysayers and all the other stuff. But it all depends on what's important to people. So yeah, I think that's a great idea. Just keep us posted and let us know. I'm in the Telegram, so
Yeah, y'all, you know how it is. I just be throwing. I throw a lot of stuff on the cutting room floor or stuff that in there. So I'll give y'all an example of it because I got this really good builder, and it'll kind of give me a way of because it'll be actually a low key way I can actually promote something and showcase it. So we'll see. Yeah,
oh yeah.
there's a lot of different stuff when it's just you gotta maintain focus on certain things. So yeah. So anyway, I'm about to hop off, man. Much appreciated.
Word, Edward. Thanks for stopping by, man. You're always respected here. You know.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Yeah, and listen up, because I see chaos reign down there. And Raven Knight, you're absolutely correct. Nobody deserves this gas price bullshit. And then they set us up for the okie doke to open it up for to bigger industries to come in and yet again take all our money. The whole the whole trying to shift us to they're gonna sell it as clean renewable energy, and us helping the environment go forward towards a cleaner, brighter world, but all it is another big ass cash grab at the cost of people who either can't afford it or can afford it, but so unnecessary to spend that kind of money. And we're in for some ridiculous times ahead, and I really hate it for the middle class, the lower class, and some of the guys who are scraping the upper class because it's going to cost them as well. You're absolutely correct. No one deserves this shit. What up, Chaos Reign?
What's good, Kevin? Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Special broadcast. And I to go back to the broadcast Donnie was in. He said some things during the last time we had a discussion. See how well. I know he did a good job.
Yeah, and also, let me say this real quick. You didn't even get a chance to speak to last broadcast. It's like this. Number one, what I would encourage panelists to do from now on when they come to this broadcast, and especially for the sake of the audience, the people who's watching in the clouds and the chat, two things. Number one, please try to consider there are other people on the panel. Number two, train yourselves to recognize the sound of my voice because when I talk, everybody should be trying to be quiet. You never know what I could be trying to say. I could be trying to say there's a comment on the way to blow us all up. People and I have an expectation for black men. I do. I believe we're better than the side that's opposing us. So in order for me to really push that narrative truthfully and brutally honest, we have to conduct ourselves as such. And I would like for that to happen. All this trying to hijack the broadcast because you're in your fields, and that's zero respect for the content creator that's hosting the show. And I don't go on other people like I rarely go on other people's panels. I rarely do. But when I do, I show the utmost courtesy to the host, the content creator, because that's fucking disrespectful. And I would encourage anybody who believes that they have to hijack broadcast to make their own channel. That way, they can talk as much as they fucking want without any hindrances because I don't like that shit. I don't like to hear people being interrupted by someone who acts like they have so many ants in their fucking pants they can't hold their fucking words. Like, wait till someone is finished before you go to stale ass talking point number 5. I really hate when people think that they're saying something so profound that they have to talk over, talk through, and won't stop talking when it's just stale ass talking point number 5. That's all I'm saying. So I'm usually courteous to the people who come on my broadcast and on the panel and help the time go by in the show and give something drop some gems for the chat and the people watching in the clouds to think about. But when it becomes a fucking mess, guess what you're doing? The opposite of what I'm trying to push. So I'm normally nice and courteous to my guests. I understand what my mistake is I have to get a lot stiffer on people. And I hate to do this to adult black men who I expect to act like adults.
Adult men, yeah.
Adult men. It's like I don't believe that, I don't believe that a lot of black men are lying, when they say pull up or whatever like that. But also try to keep in mind that you're on a Wi-Fi connection. It's gonna be like it's gonna be like talking tough on Wi-Fi. There's nothing really that's being done. It's like I'm not that tough talker on the internet. I rather have you 2 feet in front of me before I say anything, because that's the point. So, Chaos Rain, was there anything that you wanted to say in reference to the other night or tonight or whatever? What direction are you pointing in?
Well, I would say to recap from the other night that there was some disorder, and you know me, Kev. At times I be silent up here until I'm ready to speak, because like any person content doing this for a while now, I don't like over talking this because people can't hear who's speaking. You get me?
Yeah.
Too many people talking. People think that people can make out who's speaking, especially when we're using avatars. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
Now, if we were live cam, it still might be challenging, but people could see the expression who's talking. So that's why people should always be cautious to somebody else's house, and maybe that's different. Yeah.
And let me tell y'all something about a lot of the things that Taz and Q Butter were saying, guys were so in their fields, they weren't even catching a lot of what those guys were saying. And I was catching it, but every time I tried to open my fucking mouth, here comes somebody else who has to have this long-winded bullshit, blah, 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 blah. It's like you're not catching what these guys are really saying. They're insulting the shit out of black men. And people were so wrapped up in themselves, they acted like they couldn't hear that. And I'm sitting up there like, dudes, like, did you are you actually catching what these guys are saying? Like, what the fuck? You're supposed to be on that like flies to shit as soon as they say it. No, people want to go into business for themselves. So I don't want to do what other content creators are doing, but I might have to. I might have to start dropping people off of panels. And then I tried to mute up the other night, but somebody unmuted themselves. So I might just have to start doing that. It's just that if you refuse to act like an adult, I gotta act accordingly. Because see, for me, number one, I'm the star of the show. Nobody outshines the star of the show.
Yeah, don't outshine the master.
That's like me coming to your channel, Chaos Reign, and all of a sudden I got all this stuff I gotta say. And it's like, and you may want your show to go in a different direction. But it's like this: when you have controversial, volatile guests like Taz and Q Butter on, listen to what the fuck they're actually saying instead of trying to play this gotcha bullshit. That's all I'm saying. Listen to what they're saying so you can refute that shit. No, motherfuckers didn't want to listen. It's about the direction I want to take in the show. Like earlier this year when I did the Emmett Till show. I was so mad at that fucking show. I put it on private as soon as I got off air. Because I was pissed off because here I am trying to establish that there was two white men that killed Emmett Till. People keep bringing up Carolyn Bryant, and I understand that because she's the one that lied and got Emmett Till killed. But no one ever brings up the two white men that killed Emmett Till. No one does. No one ever brings up Roy Bryant. All you hear is Carolyn Bryant. Nobody ever brings up J.W. Milan. And I talked about that for an hour and a half. And I ain't going to say who this panelist was. They're not a content creator. They're a panelist. I ain't going to say who it was, but they came up there ranting about the LGBT community.
Wow.
I said, look, because it's almost like I was like, damn, are black men scared of white men? I almost said that, and I knew that would have ruffled some feathers. But my thing is like, let's emphasize on this day what happened with Emmett Till. Motherfucker, turn around. Yeah, we are Emmett Till. Now let me go back and say what I want to say. I'm like, motherfucker, and I tried to say this about 4 or 5 times. And then somebody in the chat was like, "Hey man, he gonna want to get his shit off anyway. Might as well let him get his shit off." I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. Stick to the goddamn topic. Like it's like we're talking about what happened, the unjust, violent act that killed Emmett Till. So, and I think I said this before. This is why I started doing more shows by myself. So I could get my points across and I could stay on topic. But you know what? Like the other night is the reason why I don't have too many panels because we as black men, when we get around one that we don't like, we make asses of ourselves.
We take the opportunity to say, I can get you now, nigga. What's up? And they want to fight. Digital fight. And I'm saying,
and I'm sitting up there like, well, these guys aren't hard to get. And then and let me tell you something. My most hated thing is when someone comes up to address me, but another motherfucker can't shut up. What are you talking for? This motherfucker asked me a question. That's happened twice. The second time was with Q Butter because I made a whole video on that dude. It's like he wanted to address it, and I was going to address it. But you got motherfuckers that want to yammer. And that's not to say anything against guys who took their time out to come up on the panel. But you guys aren't even paying a goddamn attention. it's like, oh, let me hold this thought so I can just say what the fuck I want to say. It's like, damn. And then a lot of people saw that video. I was more than happy to address it with the man while he was here. I mean, shit. But I mean, like, I make a video about you. Okay, I'm going to explain why I made that video about you. But no, people want to play gotcha. They gotcha. And like I'm saying, it's like, look, those guys on the show, I gotta tell you, I've already given up on trying to convince them of anything. What the fuck do you think you're gonna do? Be Jesus? Like, hey, young man, let me change your mind. Like, no, you're not being Jesus with these guys. These guys are volatile figures that have said a lot about black men, and I felt like while those two were here, that was not addressed enough. So, like, just watch, like I said, and I don't ever want to have to end the show like that again. I've already talked to the other person. I don't want to have to end the show like that again. Shit, I like playing my opening and my closing. I like that song, even though it's a lofi song.
And the funny thing, Kev, people don't understand. So this is closing remarks, and for some reason, Negroes don't know when to say it's time for last statements. There should not be no long monologue. It should not go longer than a minute. It should be just say your piece.
Motherfucker be trying to make Martin Luther King's speeches.
Bro, it's like I just want to say if these niggas got
their blah 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 blah. I'm gonna say it tomorrow on somebody else's broadcast. Blah 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 blah. Oh, let me reference this. Blah 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 blah. Keep it short and sweet.
Keep it short and sweet. I'll do them like what they call Ramil does. He say you too long, put you right down. All right, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Well, shout out to Ramil. Yeah. Good guy. Good, okay guy. Yeah. I mean, he hasn't said anything negative about me. You know, the only thing he's ever said to me, I see you doing your thing on your channel. So, hey, you know what? Shout out to you. Him and the Logic Spear over there clowning right now. Yeah, I do. I do be in the clouds on some people. Oh, shout out to Darth Skater 7, my habitual line stepper brother. What's going on? And definitely check him out. I put several of his broadcasts in my community tab. See, you know, we need in the space, we need a diverse array of content. And you know, it is for like tech and gaming stuff. Like that's a great channel for that. Darth Skater 7. Oh, I see Toya the Tutor down there. What's going on, Toya? Shoot. But anyway, what's going what you got to say, Chaos Rain? I know you got.
Besides that, I gotta get y'all guys on my channel, the habitual line steppers, and have this discussion, man, on various topics, man. Because y'all guys do such great work, man. It's just amazed me, you know. You, Donnie, Kev, and Roger, you know. I gotta I gotta make it happen, man. Because you know, at times I interview enough people.
But you know what, Chaos? But you know what though? You've had us on your channel before back in the day. Like when really like nobody knew us. I mean, you knew us. So you've been around for a while.
Yeah, you're right. It's been a while because you know I don't know how I've slipped up. I should remember that, but yeah.
Yeah, because it was like when I was a smaller channel. When Roger was a smaller channel, when Donnie was doing broadcasts, you were around.
Okay.
You know, and this was before the whole manosphere thing was asserted. You know, the Black manosphere thing was asserted upon us. Not to say that people like, and I've said it before and I said it again. The space came to us. We didn't go to the space. I mean, I watch manosphere content creators like O'Shea Duke Jackson, but that wasn't a real good experience. I mean, and you know, I do kind of take up a little issue with the way O'Shea kind of treats his audience. But the strange, weird part about audiences like that is they gravitate toward them more. So I can't really say it, and I don't want it to make it sound like dirty macking, but I ain't gotta agree with your ass.
Yeah.
Dude, I ain't gotta agree with nothing you say. I ain't gotta agree with nothing Chaos Rain says. I ain't gotta agree with everything Roger says. I mean, shit. I mean, I agree enough with Roger for us to see eye to eye. You know, but you know, but like the difference between the habitual line steppers and everybody else is we kind of talk about that stuff behind the scenes.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
we don't really like act like shit. You know, if we're going to fight, we fight behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that we ever fought. I mean, we never fought. You know, so I mean, we might have some philosophical disagreements every now and again, but you know, it's not. It hasn't gotten to the point where it turns into a childish beef. You know,
Yeah.
one thing that I won't do in this space, I won't beef. Even though I could say some things that will pretty much start up something that might last a little while, months or something, I just don't see the point in beefing. It's like it
Yeah.
takes you away from your purpose, what you really need to do on the purpose that you set out on your channel. Now, if you just made a YouTube channel because I'm gonna beef with motherfuckers, it's like first of all, you still got to work on making people care.
Exactly.
You know, so until they really care or take to your content, you beefing with somebody ain't gonna mean a goddamn thing. And I know a channel that's like that, talking about like talking about people who are more successful than they are, and then get really fucking mad when and they get really fucking mad when you establish that with that person. I'm like, why are you going after people more successful than you? If you keep doing this, someone's gonna call it out. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, this is a dude with kids. I'm sitting up there like, man, you need to be more of a force in your children's life than to worry about somebody who's taking care of their families on the internet. And they kind of flipped out, got mad with me, and then they blocked me. But I'm gonna say shit like that. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, dude, don't be trying to beef when you got more important shit that you got to take care of, like your children. I mean, I'm not. I didn't even try to diss his children because I know that some people get on here and want to diss kids and want to talk about they don't have limits, and that's some stupid shit. If I can't handle you on my own, what am I gonna bring your kid into it for?
Yeah. It's very counterproductive if you think about it. Right?
Very counterproductive, man. And you know what? But I do understand like people handling things like men. That's why I try to stay out of little beefs and altercations that two people are having. You know, if two people are going back and forth on my panel, I try not to interject because it's like this. I don't believe that I've trained people enough on my panels. Like there is a bit of training involved when you acclimate yourself to someone's panel. I don't like. I'm starting to believe that I haven't done enough as a content creator to regulate people on my panel. I just kind of let
Mm-hmm.
people kind of go, and it's like the thing that really will annoy me at the end of the day. All of that, I don't really mind people going back and forth, but when I try to say something and people are acting like they can't fucking hear me, then it's like then you're putting me in a position. I'll put it to you like that.
Mm-hmm.
So so I mean, the other night, let me see, the topic was, but that's none of my business. Basically, I was trying to affirm to everyone, listen, thank you for not putting me in the middle of all the bullshit. You know, content creators, audience members, not trying to force me to choose a side when it comes to this suits versus hoodies, educated lane versus pookie shit. Like, thanks for not putting me in that. Uh, but you know, and I'm just gonna give you an answer. I do prefer hoodies to suits.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make me a pookie, and please do not insult me like that because I
It's so somebody's
guarantee.
intelligence, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
cause think about it, Kev. I said this on my channel yesterday that it would be wise for every young black man or man of a certain age to always have one around. You know what I'm saying, one or two suits if they could afford one. You get me? Just for a rainy day. But regardless, wearing them every day. I mean, come on. You're not gonna stop this oppression by dressing differently. They still look at you as a nigga.
No, and plus the fact that is okay. Look, I'm all for improving the image of the black male, but when they say things like that, I'm starting to believe that it's more from a behavioral standpoint. Now,
Mm-hmm. Yes, correct.
I'm not telling guys to go out there and wear their pants down to their knees because I believe that shit's ugly
Yeah.
and it's not well representative of the black male image. And I do believe, although I say I prefer the hoodie, I will wear a suit when the occasion fits. I will wear a
Exactly.
shirt and tie when the occasion fits. It's not going to be all the time, but I do believe in carrying that image as well. You can make both work for yourself. That's the way I grew up. But to put somebody at odds because one is wearing a suit and the other's wearing a hoodie, that's really fucking stupid. It
Very
really
stupid.
is. I believe that black men from all credos and all beliefs can can walk and work together. No, I'm just playing. I ain't finna do that shit. But uh, at the same time, I believe that we got enough wherewithal to stay out of each other's way.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I mean, I could, well, and if people want, and I've never been the type person, if people want me to, I can go into bitches ain't shit combos too. Yeah, I can go into bitches ain't shit combos, and I can use some real life examples. But to sit up there and always talking about they're only fucking Pookie, that gets boring. People
And
don't
it's
understand
stagnant, bro. It's
it,
stagnant too.
people don't understand how boring that can get. I mean, it is, and for the people who really gravitate toward that content, there might be a personal issue going on. I'm not saying don't watch who you want to watch, or I'm not putting you down. All I'm saying is this: whenever I hear a female be very specific about what her problem is, it just sounds very personal at the end of the day. It sounds like that actually happened in her life. And and if half these bitches were telling the truth about what goes on with them, if they were telling the truth, you would probably respond in a way that's like, okay, this sounds personal. You need to make better decisions in your own life. And that's something I don't mind saying to a bunch of guys either. It's just that if a woman sits there and sees me addressing a woman and it sees me addressing at least five dudes, guess what she gonna say? I hate black women. That's the first thing she gonna say. I'm bashing women. So, and don't get it twisted. I will say what the fuck I want to say about anyone, and I understand with anything I say, I'm gonna get put in a box, no matter how much I don't want it to happen. Now, as far as this audience and people who've been watching me for weeks on end, they know I'm not about that. They know.
Hmm. Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, they,
and it's the great Sheed we here. What's going on?
What's going on, fellas?
Yeah, what's going on? So, what's the deal, man?
Nothing much, man. Hey, let me get out of this little noise, and I'm gonna jump on in a minute.
Word, word, word.
hmm. Oh, she gone?
No, no, he said no. She said that he was gonna. I didn't even realize I had myself on mute. She said that he's gonna get out the noise and he gonna hop back in.
All right, excellent, 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 excellent,
Yeah, yeah. So,
excellent.
yeah. So, I don't even know if you remember what you were gonna some of the stuff you were gonna say the other night, but
Um, to be
there was
fair,
just so
honest,
much going on.
Kev, I was just sit back and listening to Taz. Then Q Butter came up because when Taz is on the line, you know there's gonna be some fuckery going on the average, bro. Be
Well,
fair,
that's
honest.
that's his reputation.
His
And
reputation and yeah,
go ahead.
yeah, but that's all I want to say. Let me
Yeah.
let me I gotta jump down. I'll come back. I gotta handle
All
this.
right. Cool. 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 Yeah. Yeah. But what I would say is when you have people up there like that saying the shit that they say a lot of things, and if we're talking too much, if we're saying too much, and we're just trying to get this whole little point out, like we're trying to save the day or trying to rescue the day, we're missing a lot of the things that these guys are saying because this motherfucker actually said that black men don't do shit for their kids, and he said it about 2 or 3 times, and people were so off at the mouth. They I don't know if you guys were pretending that you missed this or you actually miss it. Like I don't know, but it's like one thing that really disappointed me was like no one was rebutting against it. Like I'm like, what? Do you actually believe what this man says? It's like, I mean, but it's whatever on that.
Who was that? The dude from Fresh and Fit said that?
No. Taz came up to the broadcast the other night,
Oh,
and he said a lot of shit, but at the same time, people were going so much off their emotions that they were actually missing what he said. And it's like I don't understand like how that many words come out of your mouth to the point where you're missing the bullshit that's being said. Now, I mean, we've been on panels before. I mean, we both have, and sometimes guys get so wrapped up in what they're saying or what they want to say to the point where it's like they like somebody said some really crazy shit and they actually end up missing what was being said. And I just didn't get that. It's like
well,
if go ahead.
I was gonna say a lot of dudes didn't miss it. It's just that a lot of guys seriously they don't care about the black male image. Their whole thing is shaming and getting on the women and proving the point that the women are trash and men are supposed to be held to a high regard. You know, just like that situation, I would have been all over that because I would have asked him, so you're a female. If he would have said that and I was on the panel, the first, my response would have been, so you're a female. You're a black man. So do you have kids? Oh, so you don't have kids. That's why you can say that because you don't do nothing for kids. Nieces and nephews and nobody.
I mean,
What's up, y'all? We here. We here.
Yeah.
yeah, Donnie's back. Now Donnie ain't short on controversy himself.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. Yeah, but like Donnie, what I was saying was the other night when Taz and Q Butter were on, like Q Butter like didn't get by the shit that he was saying didn't get by a lot of folks, but Taz was saying shit like black men don't do shit for their kids, blah blah blah. But then turn around in the same vein and say I wear my kids on my sleeves, like And what I was wondering was why didn't anybody act like they caught that? I was, I was
He said he wears his kids on his sleeves.
like he said that, and then he turned around and said that black men don't do shit for their kids. And I'm an active father. She's an active father. You're an active father. And she was just pointing out that a lot of guys, they act like they don't catch that because they really don't care about the black male image. The only thing they care about is shaming and getting on these females and trying to establish or affirm that the females ain't shit instead of protecting the black male image.
Well, that was one of the reasons I threw the. I felt like I threw the alley oop for everybody because I asked some simple questions, and it was, what do if you, and I gave the worst really example. You have a black father who's doing everything for his kids, but the black mother is making it hard for him. So he gets to see his kids once a month. And do you feel like that's enough to mentor? And his response was, well, that never happens. Sure, it happens, but it never happens. Okay, let's say twice a month or on the weekends. Do you feel like that's enough? On the weekends is not enough to be an adequate father for these kids. But his response in general was trying is enough. Regardless, and I gave multiple scenarios, but regardless of the situation, trying is enough. In my opinion, trying is not enough because anybody could try. Crackheads try. You know what I mean? Trying is not enough. It's being an active participant in their kid's life. So I felt like that was an alley oop to a lot of people, but they just ran past it and went to whatever their little objective and the mission was. You got to be an active father in your kid's life. I see my little boy every single morning, or every morning I'm here and I'm not working anyway, but it's majority of the morning. I see my little boy in the morning. I've said to you, that little nigga's been here before because he's too damn smart to be a 2-year-old, right?
Yeah, man. Man, we'll discuss. Man, I couldn't do nothing but laugh, man. But I was like, you gotta love these kids, man. They'll surprise you at any time. You know.
So, so for people that are listening, every morning I get up in the morning and I make my son lunch for school. I pack it in his lunchbox. I put a banana in there. I fill up his little water bottle and I put it in his lunchbox. So this morning I did all that and I went to go get him some socks to put on his, for his shoes and shit. And I came back. My son is 2. My son is 2 years old. 2 years old. On the counter we have a candy drawer. He climbed his ass up on the counter, grabbed this a full bag of M&Ms, not a kid size, not a snack size, a full ass bag of M&Ms, and put it into his lunch bag and put it underneath the food that I packed him for school. I know he put it underneath because I put his shit in there and I looked when I put his food in there, right? So when I'm leaving, I said, oh shit, I forgot the banana. I need to put the banana in there. I put the banana in, and as I'm looking in the bag, it's a bag of M&Ms underneath the banana. How the hell this banana got in there is what I'm saying out loud. How does banana get in here? And he starts going, I want my M&Ms. I want blah. How does a 2-year-old do all this shit? Know to sneak, and then he got caught. He's been here before, right? So he's 2 years old. Imagine missing weeks out of his life, showing up on a weekend here and there. It's not enough to influence your child. I say all that to say it's not enough to influence your child. My child is doing shit like this. Imagine if I missed multiple weeks out of his life. It's not enough.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's the main reason why I don't drive trucks over the road. Like I could easily make way more money over the road, but my thing is my time with my kids are more valuable than making a whole lot of money right now because money come and go. I can make more money, I can make less money. But the point of it is, like, I'm at a point, long as my kids are getting things they need and I'm comfortable, nothing's being cut off, I got some stuff taken care of. Like alone, I got enough money in life insurance to pay a freaking title, and that's the thing. Like when I fooled around and I was doing my budget with my wife, and I was like we had enough money to get your car, and I had finished paying off my other truck I had bought. So I'm like, where's all this money going? But then I thought about it. I got like probably 3 more policies since last time I had a car note. So I'm like, oh, that's why all the extra money going each month. But the point of it is, like, I'm there with them, even with my older kids. They still come around. I still talk to them. So it's not an option for me not to be in their life. I mean, the point of it is, even if I had a baby mama and she didn't want to deal with me, that's cool. I'm gonna come every day, see my kid. If you don't want me in your house, I'm gonna pick him up. He coming with me, then I drop him off. I have to make that sacrifice to get over there. And if she's willing to work with me, cool. If not, I'm still gonna be over there every day trying to, hey, let me come in. Hey, let me go kick it with him for a little bit. I'm still trying. Like the whole point of just saying, man, she said no. No, it's not an option. If I gotta go take you to court, I'm gonna take you to court. If I gotta stand outside and do my it's a difference when you saying it because you don't have a child, then it's another emotional tie to when you have that kid. You gotta do what needs to be done as a man. And see the whole thing in the space, a lot of guys are walking the talk from somebody else's tune. But when you really get put in that situation of being a father, not just being a man, a father's a whole totally emotional, everything from being a man. A man, you stand on your principles and your morals, but as a father, you gotta, step into that emotional realm and deal with that kid a different way than you actually do with men. Because men, we can sit here on the panel, talk all day. When it comes to those little bitty boys or that little bitty girl, you got to get down to kitty size level. You got to talk to them in that way. You got to actually, hold their hands and drag with them and, talk to them and tell them stuff. you got to have that patience to where you know your child doesn't know right from wrong. And in your case, like your son, he know right from wrong. He getting it in. So you got to approach him a little different than you approach another child to just say, "Well, can I get the M&Ms?" Okay, I'm gonna talk to you like this because I know you're asking. But him, like you said, he's probably 22 in the head, so he already like, I'm just gonna stick these in here. He already packed my lunch, so he ain't gonna catch me. He already had in his head he wasn't gonna get caught. If it wasn't for the banana, he'd have been smooth sailing in school, popping them like, yeah, this what we do in my house.
Yeah, man. Gotta love being a dad, man, for real. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a son, I have a daughter, and like she's one of those kids that I don't have to tell things twice. Maybe when it comes to little things, but not really on the things that I have to discipline her on. I don't even whoop my daughter. I don't even put a belt on her. The firmness of my voice is enough because she's like, when she knows that I'm angry, she immediately shuts down and like wants to make it up. And it's just like, look, in fact, she'll start drawing pictures and stuff, like all apologetic and stuff like that. I'm like, look, I don't need that. I just need for you to be a good human being and a good, I just need you to be a good person and just do your very, very best in school. That's all I need from you. Is like, drawing the little pictures. They're sweet and everything. And I try not to discourage it too much, but they kind of start to pile up a little bit. But at the same time, is like, look, just remain your sweet self, and you'll be okay. Is it's things that is things that I know that I don't have to do that my parents had to do to me. You know, you know, is I believe that I am taking a better path, and because of that, she's doing really good at school, and and I always tell her, be better than daddy. Don't be like me. Be better than daddy. Be better than me. That's what I want. Is and it's imperative as a parent that I see that through, and see because of that, because because of that, I'm doing things to keep myself healthy for as long as I can, so I can be there for her in her greatest times of needs when she gets older. So, I mean, yeah, she's a very smart young girl. She's very smart, and I encourage that stuff all the way. I even try to provide her with some of the mental capabilities, well, the mental faculties that weren't provided to me, and I don't blame my parents for that kind of thing. It's just like a lot of things they just didn't know that I have the information to. So that works out in my favor as well as my advantage. That I can teach her things, and I can let her know that do not be afraid of this world. I mean, be careful, move in a way that doesn't bring you harm, but the world is yours anytime you want it to be. I just really wish that I had more of that growing up. But just I can do it through my child. Hey, I'm good with that, and that's what I stand on as a father. You know, is I really hate when jokers like that say that black men ain't doing shit for their kids, because every father that I know, with maybe the exception of one or two, like besides the jokers and the passerbys that I used to hang out with, like the men that are in my close vicinity, all of them are great dads. Every one of them, even especially my best friends who became fathers, they're great dads as well. I don't understand just because somebody's situation is bad, that means that that has to stand for all of us. So when someone says black men don't do shit for their kids, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Period. I don't know. So shout out to Indigenous TV and LaShawn Jefferson. I see you down there, Greg. I also see you down there. Thanks for stopping through. So, anything to say on that, gentlemen? She, Donnie, y'all there? Mm, that's not. I guess
My
they.
bad. Yeah, no, yeah, another great show, another great conversation. You niggas stop lying when y'all go out here tricking. Passport bros, you niggas. I heard everything Ed said. You niggas stop lying. Just say sex tourism. You ain't shit for watching. I'll holler at y'all later.
All right, Donnie. Thank you once again. What about you, Steve?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna speak on the passport and I'm gonna jump off too.
Okay.
Like, and if you're gonna be a passport, bro, just do your thing. You don't have to announce to the world that you getting women from overseas. You know, if you're gonna trick, if you're gonna do whatever, keep it to yourself. Just go. Just stop talking about these black women. And the killer part is we always hear the negative part about the black women in which you never want to deal with on the premise of just having sex. So technically, that's not even the women you want to deal with. So when it comes down to it, why talk about the women if you're not going to deal with them anyway? You're going to pick the worst of the worst to point out as being the bad. And the same thing with the women. They do the same thing. They pick the worst of the men and say, well, he don't pay child support. When most men are with their baby mamas and they pay child support, you pick the bottom of the barrel, probably 5% of guys that got multiple kids and don't pay child support. You act like, I hate this. I'm just going to use another guy. The guy in Tennessee, that got 30 kids from 11 baby mamas. You pick this guy as being the 20 or
It's not
50
one. It's three of them
percentile.
niggas.
Yeah, this dude literally in Tennessee had 30 kids by 11
Yeah,
different women.
it's three dudes. There's 80, 87, 88 kids, and it's a whole slew of baby mamas. Yeah, it's three dudes out there.
Yeah, you talking about the three dudes that had over 80 something kids?
Yeah, there's one in Tennessee that's primarily known. He's TYB. Take your bitch. That's
Yeah,
one dude. But there's two other dudes out there in that same city doing the same thing.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like this one guy had the 30 kids though. He had 30 kids with 11 baby mamas. And I'm like, that means the one chick, she had like 4 kids by the guy. So obviously your $5 child support wasn't enough. You had to get, $20 to actually get you a family meal or something like that. I mean, like, dude, he was only paying $5 child support. But they want to make that be the norm for every man. Like, get out of here, man. But I'm gonna end with that, man. Like I said, if you're gonna lead the community, lead. Just go on about your business. Cause if you're gonna trick or not to trick, that's the question. But the point of it is, that's for you. So you keep that to yourself. So if you don't want to be labeled, keep it to yourself.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with that. No, I've heard no lies coming out of She's mouth. Yeah, but listen up. All these gentlemen at the end of the day are trying to say is don't do one thing and portray it as something else. There's always going to be somebody to call you on that. No one's dick policing. No one's telling you not to trick, not to go out there and buy some pussy. Because sometimes, for some guys, it just gets that bad. And I get that. It really does. But the reason why I will say this again, why a lot of these guys won't own that shit like that is because of the fact that it is seen and we grew up seeing it as shameful taboo behavior. And it's embarrassing to these guys. So they'll try to use some defense mechanism like these hoes ain't shit. And really, they're not lying. These hoes ain't shit, and they say that kind of thing because the guys that say that these game bros, the reason why they say that is because they can't live up to the expectations set by society at large. So Greg, thank you for the super chat. He says passport is a beautiful thing, When I traveled abroad as a teenager, changed my worldview, made me successful, a winner. Yeah, that's something that, Castro had put an emphasis on. Is like, it travel to see the world. You know, if you travel with your shit together and you travel to see the world, then hey, you're gonna get some pussy along the way. Don't just travel just to get pussy. Now, I can't say something like that. Don't just, if you travel abroad to get pussy, then go right ahead and do your thing. Have a good time, enjoy yourself, knock yourself out, but be aware of the drawbacks that can come with something like that. And the guys who are experienced in such and traveling and sex tourism, they should be explaining the pitfalls instead of what Donnie said, is instead of what Donnie says they do is prosperity preaching. And when you do stuff like that, um, it's a disservice to the people that are listening to you. I will never tell anyone in my audience to go out there and do something stupid. To go out there and fuck themselves up because if you are an influencer, there's a certain responsibility you have to the people that you are influencing, so to speak. So I heard somebody on mute. Did y'all have something y'all wanted to say, or are we finished here?
Nah, nah, that's a prime example. Yeah, if y'all travel, get up and travel, expand your mind, expand your horizon. Don't get up here on the prosperity preaching tip and try to travel for sex. Traveling to Brazil, traveling to the third world countries like the Dominican Republic, XYZ. Uh, I've seen niggas do it. I've watched men go to Republic and go to these resorts and then try to leave the resorts to go meet these escorts at XYZ. It's not a great endeavor. Sex has not ever been that phenomenal to where you have to miss your blessing in order to get it right. When you travel to these countries, go see what the locals do, learn cultures, learn experiences, and expand your mind, your horizons. That way, you become a better person. You become that much more savvy about the world. It's too often where I've seen dudes travel and all they thinking about is pussy, and they stay inside the whorehouse. They stay inside the little go-go bar. They stay inside their hotel room and don't really travel. That was a conversation I had with Ant because Ant was out there for 2 months and stayed in Phuket. He was knocking everything down in sight. Where I was like, nigga, sex is gonna come wherever you are. Get up, go see this city, go see that. But he was stroking it, stroking it, not sightseeing. So, uh, you know, I think more black men need to travel. They need to see the sights. And when these passport bros get up here and talk about it, they need to talk about the pitfalls. They need to talk about the highlights and how to avoid getting caught in one city. So, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, and on that note, I will say this: women love cultured men. They really do. Cultured and well traveled men. Once they learn that about you, hey, your problem should go down. I'm not saying that all your problems are going to get eliminated, but it'll do a lot to help you out. It's just like my parents used to say: work on getting yourself together, work on doing you, and all the rest of that shit'll come automatically. And but like I said, no one on these panels is telling you what to do or trying to dick police you. Just be brutally honest about it. And on that, I will end. Okay. This is Kev. Long live the habitual line steppers. I am going to win. I know I say that, but it is going to. I know that I say that a lot, but it's going to happen. So let's get used to that idea. Let's all be winners. And Kev, we trust. Till the next time. I believe in you, black man.